Hello everyone, welcome to StillUpSports episode 2. We are just diving right in here. I hope everyone liked that intro. Last time when we did the live, the intro was not on screen. Last time when we went live, Streamlabs said we were live, but it was not live on YouTube, so here we are, episode 2. So, how's everyone doing? How's the audio? Hope everyone's hearing everything well. Everything looks good on my end. Hope everything's good on everyone else's end. So I hope everyone liked that little intro. Produced it myself. Took it a whole, 30 seconds of my time and effort to do that. So I got a few things I'm going to talk about today. So we're going to do a Q&A. So if anyone has questions, you can just drop in the chat. I am practicing on this producing stuff, so we are getting better. I got all my slides, all my weight screens and all that. They're all loaded up. They're all ready to go. I am in the process, so hopefully by stream number 3, we will have, screens that I can pull up in terms of like what I'm looking at. I'm working on the whole screen capture thing. It's still new to me. All this is new to me, but we'll get there. So I hope everyone is having a great day. One thing I wanted to do besides a Q&A, or if anyone is in the chat, I know I didn't announce it, and I think for some of these next few streams, we can expect minimal people as we continue to get the word out that we're streaming. I do want to stream with other creators as soon as possible. I'm learning how this works, so in terms of like how all that works, I'm getting there, but I'm getting better each time I mess with the software, each time I mess with this computer, so I'm getting there. Just a few things that we will talk about though is we will talk about a few Broncos things, like Broncos preseason schedule. All the games I believe are on Fridays, so that's kind of interesting. A few things from Mike Kliss, about Jonah Coleman signing his rookie contract, Cage Casey signing his rookie contract. All Friday games for those preseason games. First preseason game for the Broncos is going to be Friday night, August 14th at Atlanta. So that's going to be a fun one. 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Then after that, you got in Denver versus the Packers, Friday night, the 21st of August. And then you got, in Denver against the Vikings, Friday night, August 28th. Both of those are going to be fun little preseason games. As we work our way to this possible talk of an 18-game, schedule in the future, it really makes me wonder how this affects the players, because as there's talks of a 18-game schedule possibly happening, it does make you wonder what this means for the players, and does this mean a second bye week? Does players get extra time off? Do they get a game off? Can they designate themselves for one game a season to take themselves off the field? That'd be fun to see. But either way, one thing I wanted to say is that I believe with some of these next Super Bowls coming up, they haven't given the exact dates for them, and that's because there's rumors of an 18-game season coming up. I don't know how I would like that, but as a fan, I would love that. But for the players, they definitely wouldn't love that. How's everyone doing? Petros, what's up, Goon? What's up, man? So, Goonville Perseverance. Look at this. Look at that, man. Goonveer Perseverance, awesome. I saw you were at that Avs Knights game, man. Sorry about that. Um, I just expect this Avs Knights series, them just going to tear each other up. You know, they're going to tear each other up. It's going to be a tough series for both of them. It's growing into a rivalry, and you're going to slowly see, you know, these two teams really dislike each other, and every time they start to play in the future, they're going to really hate each other. It's awesome that it's growing into a good rivalry, because they just meet each other in the playoffs almost every year, and it's just like inevitable. They're both the best two teams in the Western Conference. And yeah, it was a crazy game. Sucks for the Avs today, but I think they're going to get it back. It's going to be a nasty series. Whatever happens, happens, but I think it's going to be like a 7-game series. We'll just see how it plays out. Whoever wins this, though, you know, is going to win the championship. Whether it's the Avs, whether it's the Knights. We got my Red Bull. We got more lighting on. I changed the angle of the camera a little bit. You can really see the Goonsville merch corner here in the StillUpSports studio. Looks really great. Come here, guys. Look at this. This is the dog. This is my mother's dog. You know, this is Reedus, named after, you know, the Boondock Saints, you know, Walking Dead, Norman Reedus. Yeah, this is Reedus. He's a Chihuahua. Yep. He had to stay up with me. He's always still up. You know, we're all about that still up life, and he's always still up. So this is his first time on camera. He may be a little shy. So, you know, here he is. There's 3 animals in this house. All right, get down. There's 3 of them in here. There's the 2 cats and that dog. You know, we love animals in this house. He has a Bronco jersey, so anytime a game gets really nasty and the Broncos really struggle, I just find a way to get that on him as fast as possible. I like to think it helps. Yep, we are still up here, guys. We are still up. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. You could be in Europe, you could be in Denver, you could be here in Las Vegas, we're still up. How's everyone doing? So fun things that I want to do with the channel in the future. I'm in the middle of trying to figure out getting myself a second phone line, because I want to be able to use my current phone, and I want to turn that into a phone line so I can get voicemails from the fans and questions and stuff, and play their questions online, or maybe have them call in. That stuff's very, I guess, difficult to regulate, because you never know what someone's going to say live. So I would maybe like the idea of doing something where, you know, people can call in and leave a question, and then I can just respond. But at least when they call in, it's not live, just because you don't know what they're going to say. I'm not in a position to piss off YouTube. We are going to start trying to stream on different platforms. We're all working on that. You know, hopefully in the next week or 2 we can get it all figured out, and then we'll be live on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and X, or Twitter, however you prefer to call it. Either way, it'll be great. How's the audio, guys? Just want to do a mic check. Mic check, mic check. Yes, goons got goons, absolutely, man. Yeah, definitely clip whatever you need, man. When you come out here, I want you to see this little Goonsville corner in person. It may look like just like a hoodie and 2 beanies and you know, 2 hats and stuff, but you know, it's the first podcast studio to have Goonsville in its corner. You know, Goonsville is an awesome brand. I love it. I'm either wearing a beanie, I'm either wearing a hat or a shirt, and I only got 1 shirt, so I got to get a few more shirts. I got a nice collection of these hoodies and these hats. Petros, I did DM you, so, you know, I'm looking to get myself one of those Greek hats. Gotta represent, you know, for the Greek festival coming up. I appreciate it, man. The audio's fine. That makes me feel real good. Yeah, we're gonna definitely start. I don't know if I have to mess with some settings with the clipping thing, but we're gonna definitely start clipping some of this stuff. I do want to have Petros on the show one day. It would be awesome. You know, we haven't talked other than just like DMing on Instagram or whatever since Denver, and I would love to actually just like talk like on screen together, no delays, just go and go, see how long We could just talk about the Ville and everything, man. The Ville, Still Up, whatever crazy stuff we're gonna get into. Plus the Greek festival coming up, man. I've been watching everything you've been posting about that Greek festival coming up. I just wish I could be in Denver right now. Just make me wishing I could just fly out there right now. Just even if it's for a few days, just stay out there. It would be awesome. So, man, I've been wishing I could. Hey, man, no problem, man, no problem. I appreciate you guys. I'm in the middle of eventually wanting to work on upgrading some of this equipment still. I would love to get this, it's like this little sleeve that fits right over the mic. It gets a little fuzzy foam part, but I would love that. It helps, I think it condenses the sound, makes it even a little more smooth than it is right now. Besides that, it's just me practicing talking on camera. This stream isn't as formal as what I want still. It's just more about building my way into what I want to do. And the goal is eventually like a 5-minute monologue to start out each stream, you know, me cracking some jokes about the AFC West or any kind of thing going on in the league. You know, I was going to say one thing is last week I did fumble the intro more than Melvin Gordon fumbling a ball, you know, so that is not good for me. But I'm getting better with the intro. I hope everyone liked that intro. You know, I produce that in a little easy way, so I just got to set up that starting screen and then just click that intro video, and the next thing you know, I just got to turn on that little jazz band, you know, late night music, and it all works out. The dog's over here rolling around on the ground playing with cat toys, so if you hear anything, that's probably what that is. Bring me that toy. I'll throw it for you. No. All right, no, he doesn't want to. She doesn't want to share. Yeah, man, the Chapas are goons. You know, some people. You know, for the record, I'm gonna say it again, just so a few people can understand. My name, it looks like Chepa. It looks like Chepa. It is Chapa. It is Cody Chapa, and you know, my mother Jenny Chapa. You know, it's Chapa. But yeah, the Chapa family, we're goons. We love this brand. Yeah, I gotta get myself a Greek hat. I gotta get my mother a Greek hat. I'm trying to get my little cousin a new hat. He let the dogs tear up his other hat. The one that you sent him like this, he let the dogs tear it up. So, I mean, I guess the dogs are goons too, but, you know, I'm looking into getting them, myself a Greek hat, get my mother a Greek hat, and gotta get my cousin a new hat, no matter what kind of Goonsville hat it is. Hope everyone's doing good. Yeah, so I do want to start streaming with other creators soon. It just, I'm at the bottom of the totem pole with these guys, and not necessarily in terms of like views and subs, and that is true, but I'm saying more like I have very little experience with how this is still working. Every day I'm learning just a little bit more on how I'm producing and all this. And like I said, down the line, and I want to get like a nice wood desk to kind of put here, so then it really feels like a late night, you know, TV show kind of like host, you know, studio area. I got so much love for late night hosts. You know, I grew up watching, you know, Jimmy Kimmel and Conan O'Brien, Stephen Colbert, Jon Stewart, love them all. The Colbert Show, they're gonna have their like final show this week, I believe, or it might have already happened. But I just love Stephen Colbert. Love late night comedy. Love late night, you know, shows. And most of the time they just cover like pop culture and news. So why can't we just do late night but dedicate it towards, you know, sports? And I can be funny, okay? I just gotta really put some effort into it. Right now I'm just overwhelmed with all the producing. Once I figure out how to be my own producer, it'll be much easier. Absolutely, guys. I do have the cat right next to me. She's laying down right here. The old lady. Yeah, man, the Goonsville Perseverance right here. Love this brand. Let me stand up. It's just worth it. We gotta show it off. Look at that. Goons always persevere. Look at that. So clean. One more time. Ooh. You know, I live in the desert and I feel like I'm melting wearing this kind of fire, man. This kind of hoodie, oh, it's fire. It's comfortable. It's so great, man. Yeah, so one thing I want to do is I'm going to start figuring out how I want to lay out these streams. I do want to do multiple late night streams throughout the week, but also the plan is to, because I'm off on Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays from my actual job, I'm looking into just sitting here during the day and streaming whatever sports is on. So it could be, a football game, whatever's on. It could be the Olympics. It could be soccer. It could be football. It could be basketball, hockey, whatever. UFC, MMA, boxing, any of that. I got two screens that I can play two different sports on, and they're both smart TVs, so I can technically split screen if I need and all that. So I can play multiple sports while still streaming and making this all work. Yeah, man. Goonsville knows something about making clean hoodies. Yeah, man, you would love this studio, especially once I get that couch. It's gonna really look like a nice podcast studio, and we're gonna mess with the angles more. I'm gonna start filming some videos, hopefully tonight or tomorrow, so then I can start practicing my editing. Because not only is this producing part of the process and part of the challenge, but definitely the editing and learning how to make videos and stuff. I gotta learn how to make some of that stuff on my own. I do have a lady who does my graphics and all that. She's awesome. But I gotta put some effort into myself on this, making like thumbnails and all that. It's a process. And so, a few more things. I was talking earlier. I do want to do the call online, or at least people can call, leave a voicemail, and I can answer questions like that. Something else that I'm working on is so the SAC Summit. Anyone knows what the SAC Summit is? It's Von Miller's annual SAC Summit where he hosts. He gets all the best pass rushers in the league, and he's just trying to teach everyone. And this year he's got it going on with Max Crosby and Cam Jordan. It's going to be here in Vegas. And I sent an email. I'm doing anything I can to try to get credentialed for this. It would be my first time getting a credential, but I'm here in Vegas. I would cover it in any kind of manner, rule, Vaughn, Cam, Max, any kind of rules they put in, I could cover it. And if they don't credential me, I'm just going to stand out on the sidewalk with a sign, try to flag someone down for an interview. I am putting in some effort. I'm trying to find a Bronco or a former Bronco, just someone that I can interview, because it's all good practice for me. And I just love to give anyone, a platform to push their stuff, push their craft, push whatever they're up to right now. And a lot of these guys, whether they're retired, whether they're still with the team, they have all kinds of stuff going on, and they deserve extra love. A lot of them have great charities, great foundations. No matter what they're up to, they have a lot going on. So I'm really trying to make an effort to try to get a Bronco or a retired Bronco, just someone in the league, whoever. I would love to get even just some more Broncos media to really jump on with me, or let me jump on with them. Send me a link so I can just hop on. I don't have to do nothing but just talk. Makes it easier for me on the producing side as I learn. But we're working on getting interviews. We're working on trying to get a credential for that SAC Summit. I'm gonna really push and DM them. I've DM'd them with my personal. I've DM'd them with the StillUp, accounts. I've emailed on both the StillUp and the personal one as well. So we're trying to get a credential for the SAC Summit. I know that sometimes it can be a private event, and if so, I would have no problem respecting any rules with whatever they need. They tell me to film now, don't film, I'll listen. Not many people are going to get credentialed for something like that. My guess is a lot of national guys maybe, or a few national people will probably get credited or credentialed for that, but all I'm trying to do is get taken seriously, so that's why we're going to keep emailing, we're going to keep trying to get in, and we're going to keep pushing this opportunity to try to get into the SAC Summit as a credentialed reporter for the first time ever. If it doesn't happen, it's going to be just fine. We'll stand out on the sidewalk. I'm going to really keep tweeting, Instagram. We're going to make a push to try to get someone who's going to the SAC Summit to give me an interview. I would just love to interview someone give me my first chance as a new sports, journalist and reporter. It's all new to me. I'm not as credentialed as other guys. And down the line, I do want to get credentialed. I would love to go to college still. It's something in my future that I want to cover and do. And when I go, I would love to, go for sports journalism or just journalism, any way to professionalize myself. Oh man, see, Pat Bryant is definitely a goon. You could tell he gives off goon energy, man. Ain't nothing that I can say other than Pat Bryant's probably wide receiver 2 or 3 in the next year. I think he's definitely the replacement for Cortland. And it's just crazy because we're just so loaded up with wide receiver in Denver. You know, we got Jalen Waddle, we got Cortland Sutton, and we can keep going. Okay, we got Troy Franklin, we got Marvin Mims, we got Pat Bryant. Don't get me started on, you know, Michael Bandy. You know, how can you guys not forget about Michael Bandy? You know, the GOAT, you know, Lil Jordan Humphrey. You know, we got so many guys, and I'm excited to see who is that undrafted player, because the Broncos always have an undrafted guy make the team. I'm excited to see who that's going to be this year, you know. Is it going to be someone on offense or defense? You know, who's it going to be? There's so many talented undrafted free agents that are just crazy. I think at least 1 or 2 are making the team this year. Yeah, man, I got the chat pulled up in a better way. It's time for me to watch it. I don't know how to show chats on screen. I'm working on that. Yeah, I'm really trying to figure out how to pull chats and put them on screen, but I don't know how to do that yet. I'll get there at one point. One thing that I did do different for this stream is that I also did the vertical live stream thing as well on YouTube, so it's going to be on shorts as well on the live stream there. I know camera angles can be a little different with shorts on YouTube when you're watching a live through shorts, but yeah. Man, Goodsville is just family, man. I can't wait to see you, Pedros. Man, you've been tearing it up out there in Denver. It's like it makes my day every day when I can wake up and I can just be like, what adventure is Petros up to today? Because he's always up to something new. Petros is living his best life. I've said it before, like on the last spot, you know, there's, you know, if I could grow up to be anyone I want to be, I want to grow up to be Petros, man. I want to grow up to be Zach Stevens. These guys are living their best lives and owning their crafts, man. You just want to support and see other people owning their crafts. It's awesome. I love seeing Petros doing what he's doing every day. If you don't follow Goonsville on Instagram, on what other social platforms do you have, Petros, on Goonsville? Is it just on Instagram and Facebook, or you got any other platforms as well? We got to start the Goonsville YouTube channel. Dude, the Goonsville YouTube channel will blow me out of the park, dude, day one, man. Because you go on so much adventures. The Goonsville YouTube channel would be insane. You just got to get someone to get yourself a cameraman to film all that stuff. Because you do so much. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, if you got any other social platforms, Petros, for Goonsville, just let me know. I'll give them a shout out. You know, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I am on X or Twitter, however you want to prefer it. You know, I'm on them right now. We're hoping to start doing the cross-platform streaming where I'm on all of them at one point. But there's a lot for me to learn. If I don't even know how to pull up, you know, comments and put them on the screen for you guys to look at, that shows you that I really don't know as much of what I'm doing right now. So it's all a matter of practice. I did reach out to one of my favorite Bronco creators. I'm working with him. I would love to do something special. I've already gave him the idea, the plan of what it's going to be, but it would be a nice, crazy stream for a lot of these Broncos creators. It's something that would be crazy that we all could do, and really, you know, help all these channels grow. I'm really trying to hit 500. I want to get monetized on here. I would like to down the line offer memberships, just like $2-3 memberships for the channel, so that way I could do just membership lives, like once or twice a month, just streams just for the members. I'm going to be doing streams longer than most of these creators anyway, and I love all of them, but most of them can only go for an hour or two. Last week I went for 2.5 hours, and that was easy for me. If you guys let me go, I can keep rambling for 6-7 hours, but that's why it would be great to have guests, or to be a guest, so that way, you know, we could break time up and I'm not always talking the whole time. something I want to do down the line is I definitely want to start interviewing Bronco fans. That's another goal. Anyone have any questions as well? You know, feel free to drop questions in here. This is a Q&A pod, so ask any questions. You know, there's whatever you got from sports to Broncos to the channel, whatever. You know, ask any questions. Hey guys. All right, we got the dog coming back. Let's see if he has something to say. All right, Raiders, say what you want to say. Go. Speak. Nope. Okay. He has nothing to say, guys. You know, Petros, I appreciate you staying up and being up in here with me. Sorry, guys, if I'm really stuffy, it's been windy in the last few days. It's been kicking up nothing but dust in the air. We got the pink Red Bull. So one thing that I've always had, and I'm sure you guys noticed, is that I do stutter a little bit, and I work on that. I was one of those speech kids that was taking speech classes when I was younger. You know, I was one of those ADHD, you know, ADD kids. So if you hear me stutter or you hear me like go off the top, you know, the topic, that's because I'm still not going with scripts. I haven't gotten any scripts yet. There's something about freestyling and that feels fun. And if I master the freestyling of these streams, maybe I won't need to do scripts. Maybe just a few key points to know things of what we're gonna, you know, talk about or cover. Yeah, I love this chat. Just Petros, my mom. I was supposed to go live yesterday, guys. Had some issues. You know, I didn't end up going live yesterday, but you know, we're here. Something I'm gonna do on this weekend is I'm gonna do a 12-hour stream. I wanted to do 24-hour, but I'm gonna build myself up. But no one's going for more than like 3 hours anyway, unless they're doing a watch along for an actual sport. I'm gonna just do a 12-hour stream just to see, you know, just try to set a record. I don't think there's been a 12-hour stream in any of these Broncos, you know, media or anything like that. So I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna be the ball in the rest of their courts. They can hop on with me, and we can do a nice long 12, 24-hour stream. Or I'm just going to keep doing longer streams, and I'm going to try to make sure I get the record for the longest Broncos sports talk stream. And it doesn't have to be Broncos. We can talk anything else too. Man, anyone hear about Conor McGregor coming back? I got love for humble Conor, but Conor is far from humble anymore. Max Holloway wins in the first round, no doubt. Maybe the second, but I got Max Holloway in the first. But just to have Conor back and then the press conference and all that, International Fight Week, you bet your ass I'm going to be down there. But I don't know if I'm going to make it into the fight, but I'm going to be down there. I'm going to be out there for International Fight Week filming some content. I'm really trying to film more videos and all that, and I'm excited for when the Super Bowl comes back to Vegas, just because more content. Absolutely, Petros. Yeah. Goonsville. We're gonna keep, you know, pushing Still. We're gonna be pushing Goonsville. You know, Goonsville and Still go hand in hand. You can't be a goon unless you're still up. Goons stay up late night. You know, they always got all kinds of stuff going on. Yeah, that's why we're up. And yeah, so one thing is we are. All right, if the camera's shaking, that's because the cat and the dog are wrestling. You can hear it. These two literally grab each other and they toss each other. They do jiu-jitsu. The cat always jumps to Gilly. He's never silly, he jumps to Gilly. So Dustin Poya would love my cat because my cat always jumps to Gilly. The dog and him are always wrestling, throwing each other around. But I may be kicking one or two of them out just to quiet it down in here. I don't want my camera shaking like this. That's all of them. Guys, try to relax. Relax. I try to allow the pets in here for the streams. I think that the chat loves seeing the animals. whenever they do come on. I would love to hearing them, but if they keep shaking my camera, we're gonna probably kick one or two of them out. The only one behaving themselves is the old lady cat, so she can stay. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to come out to Denver. We're gonna be out there for at least 2 weeks. I'm eyeing that November 1st Denver Broncos Chiefs game. That I would like to get there a day or two before. At least be there for not Christmas, Halloween. Love to be there for Halloween. I've been growing the mustache out. No one can see it right now, it's blonde, but by November, I'm hoping to have a solid little stash. Go as a Viltrumite. I'm just here to be a Viltrumite and do whatever the Grand Regent wants me to do. But yeah, I would love to be out there for Halloween, and then the first for that Chiefs game, and then I have a concert, 3D's Grace, at Ball Arena, November 11th. So it looks like the way we're going to schedule our trip is going to be around the 1st is where that Bronco game is going to be, and then on the 11th is that concert. So somewhere in there we're going to squeeze in an Avs game and a Nugs game. There's going to be those probably. We just got to wait for the tickets to come available for next season. And I can't wait to push Still Up out there with you, Petros. From the interviews that I can do with you, I really want to meet everyone out there, all the goons. My mom cannot wait to go to the Rolling Stove. We see Jesse's ads all the time, and we can't wait. And there's an app. There's an app out there that lets you find all these awesome food trucks in Denver. So we're going to hunt down the Rolling Stove like, zombies fiending, for a nice little burger bomb. Because those burger bombs look insane. And see, the thing is with Still Up is I want to make sure that any platform, any brand can really just talk about whatever they love doing, what they're doing. I have no problem talking about other brands. I mean, I probably give, these guys a little too much shout outs as I drink them. But I want to give, smaller businesses, I have no problem talking about them, shouting them out. Maybe not the big corporations like that. They have to pay for it. Goonsville, though, unofficial or official sponsor of Still Up, that's up to Petros. I mean, I've already created the little merch corner for him, so ball's in Petros' court if he wants it to be the official sponsor. It's the unofficial sponsor no matter what. Because I'm going to be wearing the Villa on every pod. I want to look clean. I want to look great on these pods, and what better way than with this awesome brand, man, this cleanest hoodies, clean hats. Look at this. Yeah, the Rolling Stove. We're going to definitely hit the Rolling Stove once or twice when we're out there, man. Burger bombs, they look so good. One thing I'll say is the food scene out there in Denver was like pretty crazy, and we didn't even get to explore it all like I wanted to. And that's why when we come back, we want to stay for 2 weeks because we want to get the full local experience. You want to be able to just wake up and not feel like it's a vacation, but just feel like, oh, we live here now for the next 2 weeks. And the more and more I come in, this second trip in Denver, I'm going to be there for 2 weeks. I'm just worried the third trip, in 2027, because I want to run the, Colfax 10. I'm getting back into 5Ks and 10Ks. And I've been taking better care of myself, trying to run more. So I do want to run the Colfax 10 in Denver. So I want to make a middle of the year trip next year just for that. But then, of course, towards the end of next year during the football season, we're doing another 2 or 3 weeks in Denver. But that third or fourth trip in Denver, because this November will be my second trip going there. But the third or fourth trip, man, there's a slight chance I might not want to leave because I already want to move out there. I think Still Up has its best chance to succeed covering Colorado sports and just covering all sports. But Denver is such a sports city. It's the best. It's a great hub to be in. It's just one. It's like a city that's called to me since I was a child. I've lived in Cambridge, Maryland. I've lived in Newport, Oregon, St. George, Utah, Las Vegas. I've lived everywhere. I don't know if you count 2 weeks in Phoenix, but I didn't like it out there at all. It was miserable. And I live in the desert, and the heat's pretty rough out here, but I don't know how people in Phoenix do it. It's a different kind of heat. I'm too white as is. You know, if I sit in the heat that long, I turn pink. I look like Mr. Krabs. Everything's going good, guys, with the audio, right? Just double checking. Everything looks like it's going good. Yeah, I love Denver. It was amazing out there. One of my earbuds went out, but I've come to notice when we stream that that's, at least with both streams so far, that's been something that's happened, is that the headphone does like to cut out. Yeah, with Denver, I loved it, man. Living in Vegas, living in Oregon, living in Maryland, you know, everywhere I've been in my life, or everywhere I've even visited, I've loved it. But Denver just truly felt like home the whole time I was there. It felt like a place I could really want to be in. I've always wanted to go, you know, my life has felt like it's called to go out to Denver and to go there. So that's something I hope to do in the next few years. It would really be a good way to grow this brand and really push Still Up, you know, and normalize late night sports. And this is something I want to, whether I grow this channel myself or we push this in multiple cities, or I sell to a bigger network for extra help. No matter how we do it, you know, I think that the best way for this channel to grow is if I go to Denver or in Colorado, just in general, so I can really push and grow this. I want this to really be a channel that feels like it's ran and owned by the fans in a way. You know, I'm the one I want to be the fans' mouthpiece. I want to be here for you guys and just talking on here for you guys, but I do want this show to be something that feels like you guys have a say in it. So that's why I'm going to make sure that I start adding more community polls on and posts, you know, with the polls, just talking about what you want me to do, so that way you guys can have some say in dictating what the show talks about and how it goes. Yeah, man, Jesse is such a badass. Those burger bombs look amazing. The dude is clearly a great businessman. The man, you know, was on a swivel with those buns and was able to get, you know, a great bun replacement when that fell out with him. Love following him on Instagram. Love following, you know, you and Goonsville on Instagram. I love following all these awesome people on Instagram. Denver Foos, you know, love everyone. That's what makes me hate about being out here in Vegas. But someone's got to hold it down out here. And until I'm out there with you guys, I'm going to hold it down out here. Hey, quit flipping my rug over. This dog's misbehaving, man. He's flipping rugs over. Yep. I snapped at him like that. And oh, he just walked out. He knew he was in trouble. Yeah, man, I can't wait to try his food. It looks so great. The burger bombs look great. Something that's crazy about me, man, is I'm a real, like, picky eater. A lot of people could attest to this. I'm a picky eater. But man, those burger bombs, I'm in a phase of my life where I'm trying to try anything, and I'm not going to change some of those things. I'll order them the way he has them on that menu, and I'll eat them. I'm really trying to move past being a picky eater, and I'll just fucking try all of them. Oh yeah, we're going to go off. It's going to be crazy. You know, this stream, just more practice for me. You know, we're good. They're going to be, I like these little laid backs, you know, late night stream. They're fun. I do have the light on and the ring light, so the bedroom light and the ring light, you know, they're both on right now. So extra bright than last time. Last time I had it off a little bit, a little more darker, cozier vibe, but I'm glad that we have the light on right now. Let's see. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little more comfortable with how it feels just sitting here talking on stream. That's starting to be the easy part. Now it's the only hard part is slowly just becoming like the editing and how to make things work and all that. But the producing, I'm getting the hang of the producing stuff. When I come out to Denver, the only things on my docket is just you know, the Bronco game on the 1st, somewhere in there squeezing in an Avs and a Nuggets game, and then ending it off with my 3 Days Grace concert on the 11th. But that doesn't mean it would end that day. I want to get there a day before the 1st of November, so I want to get there probably early Halloween morning. That would be my ideal situation, is get there early Halloween morning or the night before. That way I can get settled in a day or two before the game. Because I would love to hang out in Denver for Halloween. I got a vibe. I mean, I got a feeling that Denver's a vibe during Halloween. I don't know what's going on. It'd be sick, man. And then from there, probably stay a day or two after that concert on the 11th. Probably my guess is the 30th to November 12th or 13th is what I would like to do, honestly. About 14, 15 days, honestly. I just want to get that full local experience. I'm not going to rush stuff like as a tourist does, with just like we're doing this. This time it would be just like, yeah, these are what we have planned, but besides that, we're just doing whatever happens today. And that's why, like I said, I'm with you. We need to go sell some merch. We're going to go set up a table. We got it. Yeah, Denver's a vibe. It's an amazing city, such an accepting city, loving city. You can, anywhere you go, you can tell that these people just love each other. They love everyone. They're not pushing hate. They truly are supportive of each other. I love that city, and I felt at home. Petros, have you ever taken the Broncos Stadium tour? If you haven't, that's something that I already did, but that's something I'd be perfectly fine with doing again. And if so, you'd probably love it, bro. I'd totally do it with you if you haven't. But I know we already talked about it, but man, I gotta get myself on a hiking trip out there. I don't care where. I need to get a good hike in, whether it's in like Boulder, whether it's in Denver. I need a good hike. We need to get some goons together and go on like a goon hike. Just get as many of us together and go tear up a mountain. And I'm not below sea level. Las Vegas is not that low, so I mean, the altitude kicks my butt for sure. It kicked my butt when I was up there, but when I was in Mexico City, it was worse than in Denver. Mexico City's altitude was crazy. Yeah, man, we got to get you on a Broncos Stadium tour. Just like we need to. I don't know if you've taken the State Capitol tour. You just go to the State Capitol, it's just right there in Denver. It's free. You just show up at certain times and you just do it. And then they take you all the way up to the roundabout up there, and you can walk around outside on the roundabout upstairs. It's awesome. We got to get you on that. Think about the content we can film, dude. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, man, that's awesome that your brothers played their state championship at Empower. Yeah, let's take the Broncos Stadium tour, man. If you're down with it, I'm down with it. As it gets closer down the line, we'll have to figure it out, but we just have to schedule one at the same time. Either you or me, we figure it out, and one of us will buy the tickets. It's only about like $40-50 for the Broncos Stadium tour, but it's worth it. It's worth it, especially while this stadium is still here before they tear it down. It is worth it, and I'm going to take it every year I go back to Denver. Last year I wasn't able to step on the field during the tour because it was a Thursday night game, so they had already started tearing up the field to get it ready for what would be a Chiefs game coming up after what was going to be the bye week or something like that. So usually they let you step down on the field, and also usually you get to see like Thunder's Pin where they keep the horse, but we didn't get to see that just because we took the tour the day after Thursday night game. So because it was after a Thursday night game, there's so much chaos and moving around stuff in the stadium. But you would love the stadium tour. So you and me will talk about that, man, because we can totally just get tickets together, or one of us can get the tickets, and we could take that stadium tour, man. It would be sick. You gotta get it dressed up in that Bronco colorway. Yeah, man, how's everyone feel about that Goonsville merch corner? Look at it. You got the two beanies. You got Greek Goonsville right here, guys. Opa. You got two awesome Broncos Broncos Goonsville colorways hats. Look at those. Those are amazing. Love them. Love Goonsville. Love all of them. Love repping it. Oops. Nah, it's too clean. Yeah, man, we're gonna definitely take that Broncos Stadium tour, man. It'll be a fun vibe. A Broncos Greek hoodie would be dope. But I ain't changing nothing about this beautiful Greek, man. We ain't changing nothing about that. And you guys are gonna tear it up at that Greek festival. I already know you guys are going to. Yep, Greek flags in the chat, everyone. So one fact, my keyboard, it's not hooked up to anything, and it's pretty cheap. So when I am live streaming Bronco games during the year, I'm gonna be able to, like, if we really have a bad game and it's just going horrible, this is only like $30. So I can just snap this if it gets that bad. We're hoping that it never gets that bad, but I'll be able to if I need to. Yep, guys. Yep. There's only 5 of us in the chat right now. It's okay. It doesn't have to be a lot of people. We're just doing what we gotta do. Yeah, guys, I hope that intro was cool. I'm still working on some audio, so if when that one screen was playing, if you did hear me cough, you know, that's why. Yeah, man, autocorrect sucks, man. It corrects my last name, and it just always tells me that I'm cheap. It's CHEPA, and autocorrect just says cheap. So it always has to find a way to offend me. Alright, guys. Sorry, I'm a little stuffy today with all these allergies and stuff. Feels like something might be getting passed around in this house, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just very windy and a lot of allergy season going up. Spring allergies. Yep, I dropped in some of those Greek flags. Yeah, guys, I am hoping to add another jersey to my collection. I want to get a Dave Logan jersey. I'm going to be in Denver for 2 weeks, so I'm going to be hunting Dave Logan in that autograph. I think it'd be sick. The voice of the Broncos, that'd be amazing. But yeah, so I am going to get a sleeve for this mic, so sometimes the audio will be even more clear and crisp. Let's see. How long have we been going so far, guys? So far for 50 minutes. Yeah, man, it has been the wind. It's been very, getting everyone stuffy, from my coworkers to my family. Yeah, definitely the change of season. Yeah, anyone have any questions? Football related, stuff like that? Man, of course he was, Petros. Why am I not surprised? And I mean that in a good way, man. Everything feels so close out there in Denver, where it feels like everyone knows everyone for some reason. Yeah, man. I mean, because I'm good with DMVR. I'm great with them. You know, I would like to think so. But I definitely want to meet Dave. I've been watching his, you know, calls, or as I saw, you know, those little clips he does for the Broncos. I've been watching those since I was like in high school, coming out of high school. He's been the voice of the Broncos for forever. Everyone loves his foot race calls. Everyone loves his, you know, all of his calls. So that's one of the things I do immediately after a Bronco game, is I wait for those little clips to get posted by the Broncos, just so I can see Dave's reaction to the big play, whether it was a Justin Simmons interception, or like last year it was something big with like Nick Bonito, or just Bo, or whatever. He had so many great calls. So I mean, that's the one I want. Plus, you know, he does great work with Benny Fowler on Broncos X's and O's with DNVR. It's an awesome show. Yeah, Dave Logan's the man out there. KOA radio out there. Yeah, his touchdown ones are amazing, man. Yeah, his famous touchdown. If you've listened to Dave Logan, you hear his voice right now in your head, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's the man. Yeah, guys, I'm really wanting to, when I'm coming out to Denver, I'm going to try to interview as much people as I can from just local creators to, I really want to interview some of these journalists, you know. There's a few that I think I could probably interview. I'm just not trying to step on anyone's toes or really get in, like, bug anyone or interfere with their time, because everyone's got stuff going on in their life. And I'm not trying to, like, step on people's toes, but I am doing the best I can with hustling for trying to snag a big time interview from someone. Whether it's on the media side or the player side or the retired player side, you know, I'm really trying to snag a big time interview. If you could see the emails and like the Instagram DMs I've sent to try to, you know, get credentialed for the SAC Summit that's going to be here in Vegas, you can tell that, you know, I'm just doing my best trying to get a reply. But if they don't reply, I'm going to be out there and I'm going to cover it from the sideline like a normal, the sidewalk, like a normal journalist would anyway. So come on up. Come here, sweetheart. Come on. Yeah, guys, that's the cat. Yeah, we got six viewers, at least that have been in here. If anyone's in here, go ahead and like that like button, hit the subscribe, you know, share. You know, we're hoping to try to get ourselves monetized and get to 500 subs at one point. You know, once we get monetized, I can start memberships, and I will never do a membership over $5. The most I would do is 2 separate memberships, one at $2, one at $5. In terms of tiers, I would never do more than $5 a membership. I know what it's like to not have a lot of money and want to be a member to all these awesome people that you want to listen to, and I would never make my content too expensive for anyone. It's going to be free, and then for the membership stuff, those things are going to be damn near affordable, whether it's $2 or $5. I think you can build a platform off of $2 or $5 for certain memberships. And that's why I would like to do certain membership content or certain membership streams. Thank you, Petros. Yeah, go ahead and get to bed, man. It's should be 2:27 in Denver right now, Mountain Time. 1:27 here in Vegas. Hey, man, go ahead and get your rest, man. You know, we work our asses off. You work your butt off, man. You definitely deserve this rest. Go get that rest. Coonsville's always, you know, a great family member. Happy to have him in the chat. Your brother, man. Go and get that rest. Do I have any fun sounds that I can help you sleep to? Let's see. I don't know if I do. Hello. Hello. Go get some sleep, Petros. Go get some sleep right now. There you go. I don't know what that was. That was the old-timey voice. Old-timey radio voice. So I'm messing with these sound pads. I want to add some sounds in here of my own. But yeah, Petros, we'll talk more. I DM'd you. We'll talk more tomorrow about working on getting some hats. Because I need to get a few Greek hats and then a new Goonsville hat for my cousin. And then we got some other stuff we got to talk about. But yeah, definitely get some rest, man. Thank you for popping in. It means a lot, man. We're going to start clipping this stuff, man. We'll do a full-blown ad, and then we got to get you on here for a stream. I just got to figure out how to add people onto the stream. But yeah, we'll definitely get you on here for a nice show. And yes, we can record it, you know, during the daytime. I have no problem recording it during the daytime, and I can just air it here, you know, during the show. All right, man. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Keep killing it. And yes, I could definitely use your help with that Dave Logan autograph, but you know, that's for us to worry about later in Denver. Look up straight here. All right. I will. Thank you, man. Not sure if you guys can see. I got some Bluesville stickers up here too on the fridge. But yeah, we're gonna work on some stuff, man. Thank you for popping in. If no one's got any Broncos questions, no sports questions, I might just talk about some of the stuff that Mike Kliss was talking about with Cage Casey and Jonah Coleman signing their rookie contracts. Good night, Petros, man. And we put on, oh yeah, we put on, let's see. All right, so I have it pulled up here on Mike Kliss's Twitter. Let's just double check that it's refreshed. But yeah, so been following Mike Kliss for a while. Yeah, if anyone knows Mike Kliss, you know he does his stuff for the Fan and for 9 News. So he's awesome. But yeah, so I think it was Adam Schefter that he quoted, but either way, whether it was Schefter, Mike Kliss, we know. But yeah, so Cage Casey signed his rookie deal, 4-year contract worth $5.58 million. Includes includes $1,198,000 signing bonus. He's a good guy to look at, you know, with what might happen with Ben Powers in the future. You know, we just re-signed Palcho, and he's a good swing guard, tackle, whatever you need him to be for the most part. But it does give you the idea that who knows what's going to happen with Ben Powers. When he was on the field, he was great. You know, everyone wants to be negative about him, but when Ben Powers was on the field, he was great. We just gotta, honestly, I don't know if this is the year to just be like, let's just trade everyone away. This is the year where you go all in. You're trying to add what little pieces you can to get better, and you're trying to reinforce what pieces you already have, not lose people. Next year would be the year that maybe because he's on his final year, I believe. But this is the year you just want to keep the competition, build the competition. Casey's probably going to make that 53, honestly. I think that's fair to say. I think we all would agree there. But they got Matt Pert. They got competition at it, you know, on those inside spots. I just think that, you know, with Casey coming in and where they took him, he's got so much potential. I would like him at guard. Yes, he can probably play tackle, depending if that's what you want him, and if he, you know, if you truly think that he can handle it, and you know, I want to know what Zach Strief thinks about, you know, that pick, and what he thought about Cage Casey's future. Yep, have a good night, Goodsville. Alright guys, we are an hour into the stream, and I have not pulled up my overlay, so let's pull up the overlay, shall we? Let's see. Alright, take a look right there. Alright, yep, that's our overlay. You know, I got more to add to it and mess with it, but my awesome graphics designer, she did awesome with that. What you guys think of that overlay? I should have started with the overlay early, but I got ready to just start talking. I can ramble and ramble for hours and hours. We're just on here staying up late, talking ball, talking whatever. It's Q&A night, so if anyone has questions, drop a question. I know there's not a lot of people in here right now. Goodsville was in the chat. can't wait, bro. Love Goonsville. My mother's in the chat. You don't have to be in the chat if you don't want to be, just like that. Like button, subscribe. We just try to grow every day. Whether we get a new sub, whether we get a new, like or subscribe, a new follower on any of the platforms, that's all we're trying to do is grow. Let's see. Yeah, I chose this time period just because it's a good time period. I'm not stepping on anyone's toes. No one's streaming at this time, so I can stream as long as I want and as late as I want and talk as much about as I want about whatever. But like I was saying earlier, though, I love Colbert and I love late night talk. So I would like to get myself a nice wood desk here. I don't know about wearing a suit for you guys, because after I get off work, I don't know if you can get me to wear a suit after working. And I'm not wearing a suit to watch sports. So you're going to get me probably dressed up in this Goonsville and this awesome, clean Goonsville. Yeah, that's our overlay. It looks pretty nice. I like it. I should have started sooner with the overlay, but we're just going to keep going. I'm an hour and 3 minutes in. I think I'm going to go for at least another hour or two. Last week we went, last stream, we went for 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think we can at least do 3 hours. So if anyone's in here that isn't going to be in here, you don't have to be in here. If you don't need to, you can pop out. I don't mind going solo or being in here alone. That's kind of what I almost expected at first with this whole plan, is that we're going to end up doing this alone anyway. Oh yes, guys, and for the record, I did see the disrespect that Mina Kimes and Benjamin Solak gave the Broncos in their rankings today for Bo Nix. They ranked Bo Nix at 20. 20. How is Bo 20? How are you going to put guys, let's say Kyler Murray? How are you going to put guys like Fernando Mendoza? How are you going to put guys like C.J. Stroud against Bo Nix? Bo Nix has already gotten to the AFC Championship game super fast. Within, 2 years, he's gotten there. He got 1 game away from the Super Bowl. How close has Kyler gotten? How close has C.J. gotten? And C.J.'s lucky to have a great defense. C.J.'s not a top 10 quarterback. That's a fact. You could debate if he's in the top 15. But yeah, I can't believe the disrespect that's coming out here from Mina Kimes, Benjamin Solak, from ESPN and their rankings. That's crazy. And I got love for ESPN. I grew up watching ESPN, and I love watching NFL Live on ESPN and all that, but I'm not a fan of that ranking. Placing Bo Nix at 20 feels a little outlandish. I don't know why people would do that. And to think these people get paid pretty well, and they're ranking Bo Nix at 20. I'm just disappointed. Especially that Kyler would be higher. There's what could be the justification for Kyler Murray being higher than Bo Nix? You can't tell me that, the Minnesota effect, they're going to find a way to make it work, and he's going to be the next Sam Darnold. No. That's not going to happen. Even if it does happen, that doesn't justify him being higher than Bo on this list. Fernando Mendoza hasn't even played a snap yet, and she has him higher than Bo Nix, which is just horrible. The league's going to keep disrespecting the Broncos until they win a Super Bowl. And even if they win a Super Bowl, they're going to say that it was a fluke, or that it shouldn't have happened, or that something happened here or there, and that, everything fell into their laps. There's always going to be excuses when the Broncos are winning. There's never going to be excuses when we become a dynasty. That's all we need to do is, prove it, not just even this year. We've shown that we can go to the playoffs, with Bo Nix in his first year. even though we lost in the wild card against Buffalo. You know, first year's, you know, wild card with your rookie quarterback, that's a big deal. And you know, that's a big deal. Second year, he got us all the way to the AFC Championship game. You know, that's a big deal. I don't understand some of these national media people. You know, there's something about this make them feel like they're out of touch or not like on this. Whatever Kool-Aid they drink at ESPN or NFL Network, it's not the Kool-Aid that we, the public, drink. So don't be trying to fool us and gaslight us into believing that C.J. Stroud or Kyler Murray or Fernando Mendoza is a better quarterback than Bo Nix, a guy that's gotten one game away from the Super Bowl within his first 2 years of the league. Because of where Bo is, you can put him in the top 10 of quarterbacks easily. Because of the fact that he single-handedly has gotten this deeper and deeper into the playoffs in each of his first 2 years. If that trend keeps going up, you know where we're at. We're probably in a Super Bowl. So we need to just keep our eyes open on what's going on with some of these national media people. Because come February of next year, if the Broncos are pushing on another Super Bowl, or if Bo Nix is winning an MVP, and if these people want to be talking about like, oh, well, Bo Nix is so great, he's this or that, well, we remember when you tried to make us think that Bo Nix was the 20th best quarterback in the league. He's not the 20th best quarterback in the league. He's by far a top 10, and I'm willing to go that far. We just might have to do our own quarterback ranking one of these nights, just from all 32 teams, just because people want to disrespect Bo. I do apologize for being stuffy, everyone. Especially if you have to rewatch this and you see me being all stuffy and stuff, I do apologize. Yeah, nice sweet girl. Yeah, sweet lady. Yeah, let's see. No, the Broncos are not going to get their love they deserve. It's just a shame. They're going to have to win at least multiple Super Bowls, not just one. Because if they win one, there's going to be an excuse for why it was a fluke or why it shouldn't have happened. So they're going to have to win two if anything's going to be taken seriously in Denver. And that's just the fan in me. Let's see, one more thing. We'll go back and we'll check out the post on Jonah Coleman's deal as well, because we checked out Cage Casey's deal. We're going to check out Jonah Coleman's deal. And once I learn how to do screen capture, I'll be able to pop whatever I'm looking at right here, guys. Whatever I'm looking up at right here or up here in front of me will pop up on screen for you in the future. I got to learn how to do all that. Alright. So we did sign Jonah Coleman to his rookie deal. It's a 4-year deal. He gets about 1.2 million straight as a bonus, you know, and then it's like a $5.6 million deal. It's a good deal for him, but either way, you know, for the kind of person that Jonah Coleman is, you got to be so happy for him. I got so much respect for him. He's been through a lot. If you know anything about Jonah Coleman or don't know about Jonah Coleman, just look up Jonah Coleman, look up his upbringing, look up what he had to go through and what he survived. You know, coming through from Stockton and turning his life around, growing into what he's become now. He's such a great, you know, I want to say young man, but I'm only 29. I turned 30, so you know, maybe he's young to me because he's almost like 5'6", you know, 7. He's a lot younger than me. But you know, to say young man, I mean, he's a man. You know, by all characteristics, morally and everything, he's a man, and he deserves the respect he deserves. But I'm really happy for Jonah. Really happy for him and his family and what that deal means. And honestly, like, he's in a great backfield to grow and develop. He's in a great position. He was the only one at the rookie premiere. The only one wearing blue and orange for the Broncos at the rookie premiere. And I think the Chiefs had like 3 guys, 4 guys out there. Crazy. Yeah, guys, in the future I'm gonna try to start doing these shows with like some scripts, even if it's not like a long form script, just something to keep me on track, or when I run out of something that I'm talking about in that exact moment, something to move right on to immediately. But yeah, I would love to start watching some like highlights with you guys, or whatever I'm looking at on screen here. I'd love to pull that up for you guys so you guys can start watching it with me. Yeah, with Aaron Gordon in the Nuggets, it's I got a lot of love for Aaron Gordon. I would like for him to stay, but I don't know what they're gonna do. Most importantly, I think you want to keep, Joker. You want to keep Nikola. You don't want to lose him, but at the same time, you want to be able to build around them still, which means you're gonna maybe have to sell or trade a few guys so you can get a few guys. But I don't know if Aaron Gordon is the guy you want to get rid of. He's Mr. Nugget, Denver fans love that man, as they should. He's a great guy. Everyone remembers when the Nuggets won their championship and Aaron Gordon hit the streets. True man of the people. So, I mean, what happens, happens, but I really hope it don't happen. Let's see. Yeah, guys, we are 1:46 a.m. here in Las Vegas, 2:46 Mountain Time. Hope everyone's having a great day. If you're awake right now, if you're driving, good morning. Hope you're having a great day. One thing I wanted to do is there's a few other guys I wanted to shout out. I'm going to do a whole video just so, because that's my first video that I'm going to drop is going to be like a thank you video to everyone. That way I can't forget everyone, because I did say thank you to a few people during the stream, and at least during the first stream, but then I didn't get to say thank you to a few others. So there are a few more I want to thank, but I did promise a few that I would mention them. Let's see. Second Shift Sports. So Eric at Second Shift Sports, me and him have talked a little bit. He's in the middle of working on getting his stuff up and going. He's had some stuff going on, so he's stepped away, but he's an awesome guy. Me and him have talked a little bit. He's been very supportive from the beginning, going all the way back since February when I announced the channel. Let me load up his thing. But he's on Twitter. He is on YouTube. I need to check his YouTube address. But yeah, so it's on YouTube. I mean on Instagram. I mean Twitter. So on Twitter or X, it's at Second Shift HQ. Or that's Second Shift Sports. And it seems like what he's doing. He's a fan. He just wants to cover mid-major basketball and midweek G6 and weekend FCS, CFB, college football. Let's see. So he covers a lot of like lower level college football and hoops and basketball. So Eric at Second Shift Sports, just want to give you love, man. No one's really noticed you or given your channel love. And down the line, I would love to work with you, just because you've been supportive. We've talked a lot. So I had to give some love to Second Shift Sports. Don't know if you guys see this. Probably not because of the glare. We'll work on getting it to the point where I can screen capture and put this stuff up on screen as I talk about it as well. Because all I'd have to do is open up a tab and just you'd see everything. But Second Shift Sports for sure. You know, we want to give Eric his love. Let's see, what else do we got? Let's see. There's a few subscribers I want to thank too. Jose, you know me. We know each other. We know each other from the DMVR live chat because at night I may be still up and all about Still Up Sports and talking ball late at night. But during the daytime, and if there's one platform that I'm tuning into every day, I get the chance to. It's DMVR. I love them and everyone that they're doing. But Jose was like one of my first 4 or 5 subscribers, and he's a big DMVR diehard fan like me, and he was very supportive of me. So Jose, that hat I owe you, I told you about it. It is going to be in the mail. We're working on getting it sent out hopefully this next Monday. So goal is to get you that hat and get that sent out to you. Sorry guys. Oh man, Kodiak Broncos, man, the badass. Former Las Vegas resident, man. It just sucks that we never got to meet when you were here, man. We could have hit up Jake's Broncos bar. Could have hit up a Broncos bar. That would have been sick. Man, Kodiak Broncos is awesome, man. My only gripe is I don't see the cat more, but hey, I can respect it. I love everything you do, man. You do such great work. If anyone's not subscribed to Kodiak Broncos, go subscribe to him, man. The guy's working his way to 2K. And 2K subscribers, it would be awesome for him to hit 2K. I'm working my way. My goal is 500. When we hit 100, we'll celebrate it, but it's not going to be a big big deal. We're going to really celebrate 500 when we hit it. That's our goal. But yeah, definitely go subscribe to Kodiak Broncos. My mother's in the chat. I'm going to tell her right now. Go subscribe to Kodiak Broncos, man. He's awesome. He used to live here in Vegas. He does some great work, man. Big time ball knower. Hey, man, I don't blame you, honestly. These apartment complex companies out here, they're some of the most greediest, horrible companies in the world. I've never seen greed like that than these apartment complex companies here in Las Vegas. Yeah, man, I'm loving this. I'm loving my platform. This is my first stream that I have. The overlay set up, so I hope everyone likes the overlay. Yeah, it does move. It is animated. I think the stream so far is doing better than the first stream last week. So there will be no crickets. There will be no trombone. Like none of this. No trombone. Honestly, I don't think I deserve that. So far, I think I deserve. I think I deserve an applause for the most part because no technical issues. Last time we had the mics go out twice, and I went live for the first 10 minutes without being live. So we had a decent intro. The only thing I forgot to do is in the first hour flip the overlay on. But I'm learning. This is my second stream, so we're gonna learn and grow each week. But yeah, man, happy to have you in here, Kodiak Broncos. I don't know how long you're gonna be up or how long you're staying in the chat, but I appreciate you being here, man. Yeah, I'm repping the Goonsville guys. Petros is just such an awesome guy. Alright, so that's Vegas for you. There's always going to be something setting off your dog, especially when you live in the hood like I do. I'm not going to say where I live, but I live within a mile of the stratosphere. So this whole area is within a mile of the stratosphere. You just draw a big circle. It's pretty ghetto in terms of like there's always craziness going on at like 1 or 2 in the morning. So I do apologize to everyone for the dog barking in the background. I'm sure everyone heard that. And yes, I am going to work on my stuttering, guys. I don't do it much, but when I do, it happens. So we're going to get better. It's the whole talking on camera thing. Last time we went live for 2.5 hours. I maybe for 3. But on the weekend, I really do want to do a 12-hour like streamathon, just so I could try to get some more subs and maybe stream a little during the daytime on the weekend, just so everyone knows that we're here. Because that's the goal. We're going to do our late night streams, but we're going to really also do watch-alongs and just watch and stream during other sports as well. So while late night streams is the goal, we're going to do live streams and watch-alongs during the weekends as well. Yeah, something that I would love to do is start streaming with a lot of these other creators and get them, whether they stream late at night with me or stay up late night with me right now, we can always record in the future too. Yeah, Kodiak Broncos, my mother just gave you a subscription. I know it's not all of them, but we're gonna get you closer to 2K. I think that a lot of Broncos creators, it'd be really cool if we all had something we can do to really boost our subs. I talked to Mike about something from Mile High Monsters. I talked to him about something. I would love to see if some of these more senior creators take like the lead on what my suggestion is. But I just want to get a nice like long, like maybe 24-hour stream going. Get a bunch of Broncos creators, no matter how we format it, or no matter who's live on with each other. Try to go for like 24 hours straight with everyone. I wanted to do a 24-hour stream just myself, but I would love to do a 24-hour stream with all of the creators. Everyone gets like 2 hours, or everyone gets like their period or their like little schedule, and we just fill it out, do it all together. But one thing I'm going to do this weekend is I am going to go for 12 hours straight. So I may do it in a manner where whatever sports are on during the day, you know, we can add that as like part of a partial watch along as well, for part of those 12 hours. I'm just, you know, the whole streaming thing and editing and all this stuff, this is all new to me. I really suck at some of it, so I'm getting better. But while I do suck at a lot of it, the one thing I'm really good at is putting in my hours. So no matter what job I've ever had, I've always just shown up and just put my hours in. So that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to put in as many hours as I can streaming, just so I can really refine this craft and know what I'm doing. But man, I'm awesome to see Kodiak Broncos in the chat. Not sure if you're still here, but awesome to see you pop in, man. And yeah, guys, we got I got this overlay. I do have a gaming overlay, and down the line I do want to also maybe like add some gaming aspects to this channel. This is just going to be a fun channel. Whatever happens, happens. Whether we keep this channel and it's just me running it the whole way, or down the line we get extra help from others, or we, you know, maybe down the line merge or sell the show, or whatever happens down the line in a year or 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Either way, with this channel, we're just trying to grow every day. But yeah, I do have this awesome idea that I've told Mike about, that maybe we do a 24-hour stream, get all these creators together, you know, all these lower Broncos creators, because I mean, I can handle this time period for that 24 hours. Like if they need someone up in the latest hours tonight, I can do it, and whoever wants to stay up with me as a little host or guest for that time, it would be awesome. But you know, there's so many Broncos creators out there that there's enough of us to make a 24-hour schedule, and just do it once a year kind of thing. Get us all together and lined up. There's a few of us that probably are not obtainable. I don't know about Perna because he's so high up there, but maybe we could snag Perna for it. Besides, I'm just thinking like a lot of us guys that are like under 5K, under 10K, under 15K, you know, these smaller channels for sure. But I think like a crazy long format stream would be fun. And I'm going to do the test run of that on the weekend with that 12-hour. I'm going to do a 12-hour just by myself, but I would love to do a 24-hour where we get all these creators together and we all take turns, or some of us are on together, maybe some of us are on all at the same time. I don't know how it would work, but that's why I would like, if something like that were to happen, I'd love one of these more senior Broncos creators to just take the lead on it. especially because I'm in this producing part. I'm still rough at it. So like I need to figure out how I can add people to the stream, and then I can have multiple people on screen, me and whoever, because I want to start having guests on the stream, and I also want to start being a guest on the stream as well. And this doesn't mean I'm exclusively at night, guys. I'm gonna have some exclusive streams late at night. I'm gonna think about how I want to schedule those. Probably 2 or 3 a week, spread out throughout the week at night, while still having long streams on the weekends for whatever sports are on. But I want to give a big round of applause to the whole chat. You guys have been killing it. I'm grateful to have every single person here, every single like, subscriber, every viewer. It's been awesome and it means a lot. Let's see, guys. Oh, and so while we're talking about disrespect, guys, there's a few other things I want to talk about. First of all, the Chargers. We saw that Bo Nix, video, their little Halo joke about Bo Nix's ankle. Very disrespectful. They want to make fun of injuries. So, I don't want to see complaints from Chargers fans when there's a Bronco fan online, and there's going to be one or two who will probably make fun of, Herbert or any injury that happens with you guys. So you can't dish it and not want to take it back. So it's going to come back your way. Not coming from me, but there's always going to be a petty fan out there, and so Chargers fans and Chargers social media thinking that was funny, it just opens themselves up. Whether it fuels the team into really playing hard and wanting to embarrass them or get that back for that, or whether it's just the fans aren't going to forget either. So there's going to be some get back with that. Again, I talked about the whole Mina Kimes, and what's his name's ranking that was just pretty disrespectful. Putting Bo Nix at 20, Mina Kimes and Ben Solak, putting Bo at 20, horribly disrespectful. Horribly disrespectful. But and then Skip Bayless. I don't know what vitamins Skip Bayless takes, but Skip Bayless, man, he's saying that the Broncos are gonna win 1-2 games in their first 8 or 9 is crazy. There's some tough games for sure. They're really testing the Broncos. But if you're him, if you're that team, you're that guy, you should be able to handle this. And see, I got 13-4. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 12-5, or if it's 14-3. It could be anything. I got 13-4, and I called my losses like how I saw them. And I think 2 of those losses are interchangeable with other games. Honestly, it just depends on how some of the season plays out. But I do think the first 2 losses come with those 2 California back-to-back road games, the 49ers and the Chargers. And I'm not worried about, the Broncos fans that will show up in SoFi for that Chargers game. I know Broncos fans will show up, and that it'll be a Broncos home game. But, the Chargers, I think we're going to split with them, and I think we win the one in Denver. I think we lose the one in LA. And I think that the week before, we're going to lose in San Fran. That being said, that means I obviously think we get a win against the Rams. We get a win against the Jags. We're going to get wins against the Chiefs. So I'm not too worried about some of these other games, and I'm not as scared of the Seahawks as some other people are. I think the Seahawks are going to have a Super Bowl slump. Are they going to make the playoffs again? Yes. Are they going to be one and done? Maybe. Are they going to win, 1 or 2 games and then be out? Probably. I just don't think they're winning another Super Bowl. They're going to be good, but they're not going to be the same. And they're going to probably be good enough to win their division, maybe, or at least compete for it with the Rams. But I still have the Rams Broncos as my Super Bowl prediction. Yeah, It's a tough schedule. Broncos can get it done though. The Broncos. I love that. All this disrespect is still coming. No matter what, here we are. The Broncos get deeper and deeper in the playoffs each year. Their quarterback continued to show signs of being closer and closer to as elite as they can come. And yet they're still out here ranking the quarterback 20th. They're out here still saying that we're going to win 1 or 2 games in our first 8 or 9. It doesn't matter who it is, whether it's Skip Bayless, Mina Kimes, if it's coming from the arena, if it's coming from ESPN. These people will keep disrespecting the Broncos. Like I said, we can win the Super Bowl, and they won't say we're good unless we do it twice. That's just how it is, no matter what we can do. So we should just enjoy and embrace this underdog status that the Broncos love. They love being the underdog, and I'm grateful. More and more I look at this and feel about it, I'm grateful that they want to test us and that they want to treat us and the Broncos like this, because it's gonna come back and it's gonna bite them. Especially in the future when they want to say, oh, well, I totally supported Bo Nix for MVP. Well, you were also saying that he was going to be the 20th best quarterback. So just keep this keep this in the back of your mind, guys. Remind these guys, remind these people in the future about these takes that they have now, because they can't just flip in the future and join the bandwagon when we start doing what needs to be done. And by what needs to be done, I mean winning championships. When we start winning championships and MVPs and stuff like that, they can't change and jump on board and be like, oh yeah, we always thought Bo Nix was going to be this good. No, because you had him at 20. It's one thing if you put him in like the top 10 or something and you're actually making the list, like a competent, sane person. But to put him at 20, that's just blatant disrespect, and you're doing it on purpose. Yeah, guys, we're at 1 hour and 33 minutes into the stream. 2:06 Las Vegas time in the morning. 3:06 in the morning, probably in Denver. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hope everyone's having a great morning. If you're driving, drive safe. Put your phone down, just listen. To that preseason schedule. And that preseason schedule is where I did want to talk about that. So only one of our preseason games are going to be away games, besides that we're going to be in Denver for week 2 and week 3 of the preseason. So Broncos do have preseason games against the Packers and the Vikings. Wonder how those are going to go. I wonder if I'm not sure if one of those are going to be like joint practices. I mean, those are going to be preseason games. I need to see if one of those are going to be like joint practices. Nothing on here about that, but I hope that we get a good joint practice against one of those teams. Joint practices always just go hard during the preseason. You get those crazy camp battles you hear about how like the Broncos defense shut down this top offense or this or that. And, I would love that joint practice against the Packers personally. Face Jordan Love multiple times in practice, that would be great. Great for the Broncos defense. It would be a great learning experience, or at least a really good chance to try to hone in. But so I meant to say it earlier, but as I was talking about like the possibility of an 18-game schedule, that makes you think about, do they cut like a preseason game out in the future to add that, and then what does that mean if they did cut out one of the 3 preseason games? And To go to 18 games, what does that mean if they were to cut out a preseason game and there'd only be two? What that would mean for like those lower ranking guys or those guys trying to make teams is two games enough to even show what you have? That's a great question. But yeah, so the Falcons game in Atlanta for preseason week one, that's just going to be a 5 p.m. Mountain game. So late games, these all are late games. They're all late games, so not bad. Yeah, guys, we went with no script today, so if there's like periods of silence, that's me just pulling stuff up or figuring out what else we're gonna talk about. This is a Q&A pod, so feel free to drop questions if you want. I'm grateful for anyone who's popped by, even if you pop by for a second. I'm grateful for anyone who's shown up. Yeah, guys. So you see this fridge? This fridge is gonna be my, when we do these live streams. And in the future, we're going to be live streaming. We're going to have guests in here at one point, whether it's a family member, if I can get like a neighbor or just a fan or whatever, someone who's going to be in here. Or like me and Petros have talked about him possibly coming out to Vegas for like a weekend or so. And if he did, we'd do a pod out here for sure on in the studio and like with interviews and stuff. But if we did do that, we would definitely. We definitely do one right here in the studio, but sorry guys, I lost my train of thought. We'd probably watch some games as well, do a live stream and watch some games while streaming as well. So that's the great part about this fridge is it's a drink fridge, so it's loaded up with all kinds of drinks in there, from soda, juice, energy drinks to the occasional alcoholic drink as well. It's loaded up with all the beverages. So it's a great beverage fridge for whenever we're live streaming or whatever. Gives us the chance to be able to watch and not just watch the show, but also stay hydrated, keep the vibes going. I'm not a huge drinker like that, but at the same time, it gives us the opportunity to if we do have guests that want to have a drink, they can have a drink. If I've earned it and the chat wants me to, there can always be, a beer chug to celebrate something big or whatever. That's the point right there. Let's see, guys. Everything seems like it's going good. No audio issues so far. I'm pretty happy so far with this. Let's see. Alright guys, I'm going to take probably a 5-10 minute intermission real quick, and then I'm going to come right back to the stream. Let the cats out of the room, go get some ice for my drink, for my water. We're going to take a quick intermission. Thank you for everyone for popping in. We're at an hour and 40 minutes into this show, so we're just going to take an intermission. Here's that intermission screen. Alright guys, I'll see you in about 5 minutes. notification screen, the be right back screen, that's what that's for. So I can step away if I need to. Sorry guys. I hope everyone's having a great morning. 2:20 in the morning here in Las Vegas. 3:20 in Denver. We're just gonna keep going. We're vibing. We're just gonna keep going. This is all practice for me. You know, messing with stuff, talking on here. It's all practice. So any little bit helps. Yeah, I can't wait to get this cross-platform stuff going. Is like the base on TikTok, the base on Instagram, the base on Twitter. I would love to be able to stream on there at the same time as well. They deserve these streams just as much as the YouTube base. Hope everyone's doing good. You know, while I'm here, if there's anything you want to bring up, just bring it up. You know, I don't mind covering it. Wanted to show a few more things off in the studio. So, as I turn the camera this way, alright, you can see the DT, the Maris Thomas baseball jersey. So take a look, one of my prized possessions, okay? It has to be the Super Bowl 48 patch. I'm going to get the Super Bowl 50 patch to put right here. But the 48 patch is because DT was the only one to show up that day. He was the only one that caught a ball, set a record for catches in the game. You know, he was the only one to actually show up. And that was one of the moments that redefined to me that DT was going to be my favorite player, and still forever is my favorite player. So, my uncle actually helped with this. So, the baseball jersey was a cheap little baseball jersey you can order from China, but then the patches and all that, that's actually from a DT jersey. A DT jersey was cannibalized to make this, so that kind of stings a little bit. But the good part is that I did take it to a tailor. She messed up on some of the stuff I wanted, so my uncle, he made sure to fix it. So now you got this beautiful 88, you know, the Thomas nameplate, and you can tell that it's from a baseball jersey. I mean, from a football jersey. Bam, bam. The Maris Thomas baseball jersey. Beautiful. So beautiful piece of the set. It had to stay in the set. It's a great piece to have. Once we have the couch, my guess is the couch will go up to about here-ish. So that's why I have the flag and this where it is. But for now, we're just rolling with the chairs. The two chairs, the gaming chair and the patio chair, until we get this couch. We're creeping up on 2 hours, but I might go for it at least till 3, which would be 4 a.m. Denver. We'll see. It's the weekday, and I try to definitely be done before local radio comes on in Denver. I don't want to be on when they're on. I want to give them their time. I have my time, so that's why we're trying to make sure that we're off before they go live. So worst case scenario, I stop 4:30 my time, which is 5:30. You know, Denver, give them about 30 minutes. That way I'm not intruding on their time. We're working on this all. We're growing. We're just trying to snag an extra subscriber, an extra liker, you know, follow every day. So anything to help grow every day. And yeah, so right here, it's I changed this out a few times on this chair, and I want the set to be something that changes and fluctuates. So sometimes in the future, I want to get more flags. So soon I'll be able to flip flags around for depending on whatever we're streaming and covering. But also, on this chair, until I do have a couch and we can do stuff with the couch, on this chair, I've been rotating stuff. So like I have, this 5280 football towel right here. At the rally towel, the Bronco rally towel. I have that. I did have that on there in the last stream, but this stream, I do not. And that's because I have my 2012 Division Championship shirt right here. I don't fit it anymore. It's too small for me. But it's a 2012 Division Championship, and anything from the Peyton days is worth saving. So that's what's on there currently. But I want this set to kind of evolve and fluctuate. And even if some noticed on like the fridge is loaded up with magnets and stickers, and we're going to be able to rotate stickers and magnets throughout the fridge. So the set's going to be forever changing. It's not going to be the same set. Just want to say I got a lot of love for some of these other creators out there, these Broncos creators. Whether it's the Orange and Blue Network and every one of their shows on there, all their guys on there, like Dak and Jay Weaver, Broncos Libre. There's all these guys on Orange and Blue that are awesome. There's everything from like that professional media, like the accredited media that actually has their credentials and goes into the building every day. All of them, they kill it. But also like these streamers, these lower level streamers. They're all awesome too. They're doing their parts, and I like to argue that some of these streamers would ask questions that some of the traditional media wouldn't ask or couldn't ask, just because of where their positions are. And when you're in the media, you can't come off a certain way, or you'll come off as really disrespectful or offensive if you say something the wrong way. Whereas when you're not traditional media, you can kind of question things a little differently. And a lot of these smaller channels do question everything a little differently, and then at least you want you want to be able to have competitive thinking, or you want to have thinking that can I'm looking for the word, I guess. Just you don't want to stay traditionally aligned with the mainstream the whole time. You want something that's outside the box. You want something that's different, and people that will ask different questions, tougher questions. Just for journalism's sake, you want every aspect. So I love these younger, lower ranked, subscription numbered creators. They're awesome. I just want to be like all of these guys. They're all killing it. Kodiak Broncos to Orange and Blue, every one of those shows, to DMVR. Now DMVR's got a lot of subs, but DMVR is still killing it. And then you got the GOAT of Broncos, like Media Talk, Brandon Perna, and That's Good Sports, and That's Good Broncos. Brandon Perna's killing it. And I'm so happy for him. I remember watching him when I was just in high school, in 2014. I loved watching his content then. Love watching his wife's content, Jess, on YouTube, about like motherhood and parenting and all that. Love her content. But there's so many good content creators out there in Broncos country, and it's awesome to just be even a small part of that now. Doing my own thing on the nighttime. Like I said, down the line, this set's going to change too, because I do on the wood table here. We're going to aim to get more formatted and more professional with each show. I want to get more professional, and like we didn't even do much of a monologue this time, but we're gonna work on it all. I want to do a monologue still for each show. Crack a few jokes. It'll be hilarious. Definitely, at least find a way to crack a joke in about Roger Goodell any chance I can too. Maybe find a way to make a Brady joke. Find a way to build these cool little monologues up that I have inside my head. I want to do those with each show. Be fun. And yeah, also like I'm just thinking about how cool it would be to do some of these shows with other creators. There's some European creators. There's Broncos Europe. There's some guys, I'm going to pull them up on my phone because I follow them on Instagram, and I want to look into doing something with them because we get our, I believe we have our graphics made through the same woman, and I would love to be able to do stuff with them. Yeah, I would love to be able to do some stuff with them on, because they do like cards and like sports cards and trading cards and stuff. I would love to be able to at least do some stuff with them because I love what they do. They do great work. And they're also in the UK. They're UK based, so it'd work out really well for me because personally, any outside the US content creator works easier for me with being able to stream because these late night streams. Unless they're up during the weekend to try to stream during a watch along, which is always cool. But sometimes that's hard to do because we could be on different delays with what we're watching, and then I could be seeing something that's 15, 20 seconds ahead. But some of these guys I really love. They just started a YouTube channel too. Okay, so they're UK and New Zealand based. But let's see. Coombe and Curry sports cards. Coombe and Curry sports cards on Instagram. These guys are awesome. You know, they just do sports cards. They go to card shows. But I love their stuff. And they just started streaming and doing shows as well. I'd love to do stuff with them. I'm gonna reach out to them and see stuff about them. I'd love to work with some outside of the U.S. creators just for the fact that some of the American crowd isn't up, and this is about adjusting the American crowd to wanting to have sports talk late night. And at the moment, that does not apply to the foreign crowd because they're already awake. This is their time for them. This is the morning for you guys. So I am looking to just do content with everyone else. But like I said, on the weekend, I'm going to do a 12-hour stream-a-rama just so I can set the record for longest Broncos content-based stream out there, and let the world know that let Broncos media know that I'm here. There's a few of them that know I'm here, and they're really respectful and have been really supportive and helpful, and I appreciate them. But then there's a bunch of people that don't know I'm here, or I'm not saying no one's acknowledged me. No one just knows who I am. I got barely 64 subscribers, so we're just trying to get our name out there. So that's why I'm going to do a 12-hour stream. We're going to set the record for the longest sports talk stream for Broncos content, and then we're going to go from there. And if I can't get that stream that I've been talking about, where I can get all these big Broncos content creators together, go for 24 hours. Some of us for like 2 hours together. We jump on, jump off, take shifts. Rotate however it takes just to go for 24 hours. I think that'd be a fun little record to do as a group. Get us all some subscribers. Really help us all grow. Come here. Come sit down. You're gonna sit down? Yeah. That's the female cat, guys. She has a lot to say. This is my red shirt year, so I'm not I didn't do a mock draft. There's a lot of stuff I didn't do this off season for a reason. It's my red shirt year. I'm learning a lot. I'm trying to practice and grow, so there's a lot I'm learning, and I didn't do like the mock drafts and all that. And honestly, I don't know if I'm going to do a mock draft next year. We'll see how it all comes next year, but I'm going to watch. I'm going to be locked in on college football this year, for sure. Usually, like with a lot of sports, I'm just a casual or not huge into some of these sports. I've been growing my sports knowledge a lot the last 2 years, and I'm really trying to just dive in with everything. That's why some weekends I'm going to be attending certain sporting events and stuff, whether it's arena football, whether it's soccer, whether it's lacrosse, whether it's whatever, whether it's UNLV. Like UNLV's athletics are really going to start ramping up soon with like football and stuff. So I'm just trying to go to as much sporting events as possible, whether it's a baseball game like an Aviators game or an athletics game when they arrive. I'm just or like an Aces game, go see some WNBA. I'm just trying to boost my sports knowledge in any way I can, and part of that is just seeing as much of it as can live as possible. Make that common and routine for me, just so I can grow every little bit, every day. And I'm so excited for what's coming up with the Broncos and with this running back room. This running back room is pretty crazy. Um, and then it makes you even think about like where they're at. But then who's going to be that fullback? Is it going to be Adam Prentice? That would be the belief. But this tight end room is so crazy. It makes you wonder like who all is going to make this roster in the end and who's not going to. Because are they going to keep one of these little like flex tight ends and just balance Prentice? Or are they going to I'm really excited to see what's going on with Caleb Loner. There's a lot of hype right there. A lot of hype with Caleb Loner, and we don't see it. As a fan, we don't see it. The traditional media who gets to be there at practice maybe gets to see some of it, but we don't get to see it really. And it makes me excited for what could happen. But in terms of this running back room, I was going to say that Coleman, everyone knows Coleman, R.J. Harvey, and J.K. are like, those are your three backs, you know. And you hope that J.K. could stay healthy the whole year. You'd hope so. The way he's acted, talking, it feels like he knows something that we don't, that he's going to be, for the first time in his career, he's going to be healthy, but we just can't bank on that because we don't have proof of it. And I love J.K. to death. So we're really rooting for him, but we'll see if he stays healthy the whole year. But either way, you're going to have R.J. Harvey, and you're going to have Jonah Coleman right there. And that's not counting, the other guys that are competing. And we do have to build this huge roster for training camp and everything. And there are going to be cuts coming at one point, but in terms of like who's going to be our final backs, we know all three of them are making the team. But I think the more interesting conversation, because no matter what, we know those are going to be the three, and however it plays out, it'll play out. But one thing I'm excited for, and really excited for, is to see who's going to end up as that fullback. Because I love Prentice, and I'd like to say that it's fair. That like, we think his job security's there, but and I loved how he came on at the end of the year. He really looked really good. But I think that who knows what's going to happen at tight end. Tight end's going to be such a big old, cluster. That's all I'm going to say. I didn't say the word, but big old cluster. A big old cluster And what could happen there is we got some tight ends that can definitely play that flex, fullback, H-back, whatever. So I don't know. I just got this feeling that Prentice isn't safe. There's very few positions on this team where you're like, there's no battle, that everyone's safe. You want that competition all across the team. But with that running back room, the conversation is not, Harvey this, Coleman this, J.K. this. We all know they're all going to be there. And once the season starts, we're going to see the rotation. So that's a fun, like, we already know what's going on. But in terms of the running back room, whatever, the better conversation is the fullback spot and how tight end is going to affect everything on this team, especially how tight end might affect your special teams, or if you choose to keep extra tight ends, if you're skimp at a few other positions. If you skimp at a few other positions, you better hope that if you keep an extra tight end or two, that they better play and know what they're doing on the special teams, because we don't want the special teams unit to take a decline. We hate it when we have these decline years in special teams performance, and it sucks. Yeah, sorry guys, I didn't have no co-host, no guest, nothing for that tonight. It's just me learning everything. Even if I could be alone right now and I would just keep going. is all good practice. We're just trying to grow. We're trying to get better. But yeah, so earlier I also mentioned I have a gameplay overlay as well. You see this overlay up here. It's pretty nice. I can go from the camera overlay. I really like this overlay, but we have gameplay overlay too. We're working on that, but down the line, I am wanting to start like gaming and showing my Madden and college football, whatever. Just whether I'm getting my butt kicked or not. I just think it'd be fun to stream a game. Be a fun time, and I'm trying to think of fun things to do, like that idea of doing a call-in line or having people call in on and leave a voicemail. I think that's a fun thing we can do for the stream, besides the fact that I want to start at least recording with some people or recording other stuff and airing it on the show live at night, and then it can be released as a video. Because then it can really, airing it at night is a good time, so like the true late night crowd sees it, and then anyone else can just see it once it airs as a video. If I like with certain content or interviews and stuff like that, and I do want to interview a lot of people. I'd love to interview a lot of my peers, a lot of these people out here in Broncos country, these a lot of smaller Broncos channels. I'd love to interview them personally. I want to ask them about where it started with them as being a fan, where fandom, sports fandom started for them. What their first favorite sports memory was, who their favorite player is, what they take away from sports, and how they how it affects their life and all that. There's a lot of discussions out there, just because the fans deserve to be interviewed just like a famous player or a famous celebrity deserves too. The fans deserve their interviews and their minute of fame just as much as any player, retired player, or big media person. So that would be something fun to do. Yeah, and I'm gonna learn how to stay on track and follow a script and what we're doing in the future. I just like this idea of, as I'm learning how to mess with this equipment and how all this stuff goes, with these first few streams, we're just gonna practice and all that. So that's why it's just been a bit of rambling and no true guidance with how this stuff's going. But for the first hour of the stream, we did not have the overlay on screen. First hour of the stream, we were just on the regular camera like this, and so that takes away from some of the fun I was hoping to have. But I mean, either way, I showed you. Besides that, I'm really working on my audio stuff and how I run certain things. So I do appreciate everyone tuning in and checking in on everything. There's a lot of people that stayed up and hopped in the chat and are going to bed, so I appreciate it. We are still up. I'm going to read through some of this older chat real quick. Goonsville did say they're going to clip some of this. I appreciate Goonsville, man. Petros has been so supportive. We got so much love for everyone that's been supportive and caring and just interested in this small little venture of mine. Can't wait to come back out there to Denver. Denver was so great. I love the people out there. I love meeting people. It's such a great vibe out there. I see why people move there and never leave. It's truly one of the gems of this country, and Petro Center, we're going to try to make a Goonsville hike happen and get all the goons together. I need to get myself a hike. to collab with Goonsville as well, man. We got some cool stuff in the works from just doing shows together, as well as with the merch and stuff down the line. We got some plans for Still Up in Goonsville, so it's gonna be nice. I did work today. I got off work at midnight and I came straight home and hopped on here. I did do our intro. It worked a little bit, but there's still some little things to tweak. I gotta mess with the audio and certain things, but we're getting better and better each time. That's the goal. And currently it's only on YouTube. Soon we're going to be on different platforms, and that will help in the future with trying to just stay busy and keep getting comments from other people, because when we're live on multiple platforms, that means we'll be able to get comments from multiple platforms as well. The stream's been healthy the whole time, has had no issues. That's awesome. We got 3 likes. If anyone is listening, please hit that like button. Go ahead, subscribe. Check in on this page. I'm working on trying to film some videos and practice my editing. We're doing our best. These first few streams are just going to be me rambling until I can get someone to host and do a show with me. These first few shows are going to just be me rambling and answering questions, besides trying to practice with all this tech and also work on my my intros and my monologues and stuff. But I do want to have guests. That's the goal with this. It's a late night show for a reason, so I need guests. Whether we film and record before, during daytime, and I can air it at night, or they hop on at night. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little tired, but that's just because I'm going through a little caffeine crash, but that doesn't mean I'm sleepy. I'm normally up till 5, 6 in the morning here in Vegas every day. So even though we're 2 hours and 15 minutes in, I can still keep going. At least. We'll probably go for maybe another, if I go for another 45 minutes, it's been a 3-hour stream, so at least at that point, we've already gone for longer than what we did before. But for the record, I don't expect many people to be up on and online when we're doing these streams at first. The point is, we gotta grow this space, because it is a interesting time to stream. There's not that many people who are awake, and there's not that many people who want to talk ball at this time, want to talk about sports, want to talk about anything going on in sports at this time. But one thing we are trying to do is just normalize it, so it doesn't matter how small it is. We're going to start small, and we're going to grow by 1 subscriber at a time. Yep, here we are, guys. Here's our other cat. This is my son. This is Apollo. You can hear him purr. My son, Apollo Creed. He had to hop up on the chair, he had to hop up on my lap. He missed me all day, and the first thing I did when I came home is I just came and hopped on the computer. I barely acknowledged him, so he's forcing his attention on me. So here we are, we're getting distracted. Cat distraction. Oh, he's a baby too. It's hard to see him with the black that I'm wearing right now, but there we are. He's a baby. He's very sweet. He's only 3. I got him from a Homeward Bound cat shelter here in Vegas. He is a rescue, but yeah, you can hear him purring. What do you have to say? Bo Nix? Is Bo Nix going to win MVP? I think he thinks Bo Nix will win MVP. That's what I'm gathering from that. But he is excited, so he is purring. We're just going to sit here with the cat for a little bit. It is Q&A, but it's also just me messing around with stuff, so there's no urgency to do anything right now. We're just putting in our hours as we stream. Point is, we're going to put in hours and we're going to grow and grow because of the hours we put in. He is not leaving my lap anytime soon, so we may have to do the rest of the show with him sitting on me. Because I'm not moving him, guys, unless you want to move him. But I ain't moving him. Yeah, he's happy. He likes to watch sports with me. Whenever I do watch a Bronco game, he's always nearby. He loves to watch football with me. That's because he knows I'm stressed out whenever I'm watching football. You can hear the purring. He's a sweet cat. But yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but Conor McGregor making his comeback Universal Fight Week here in Vegas. I will be out during Universal Fight Week. I'm going to hit up the strip. Let's move him over to this. Alright, jeez. He makes it so difficult, but he's off my lap. But yeah, so with Universal Fight Week, I am going to hit downtown. I'm going to hit the strip. We're going to hang out at all the spots by T-Mobile Arena. We're going to hang out for International Fight Week. We're going to check out who's out there. There's always some fighters out there. So maybe I'll be able to find someone, get a picture with someone, or see someone. That'd be really fun. Let's see. One thing that's also exciting with that is with Conor making his comeback, it's bound to be a fun week. So even if I can't get into, even if I don't go to the fight itself, there's some crazy places I can go watch the fight. But I definitely want to at least try to catch a press conference. That'd be an insane press conference. Conor's first press conference back. It'd be entertaining, of course. Though I got Max Holloway winning that, of course, I do think that Conor has that power still. It's just a matter of if he can get in. And I think Max is just primed to have a really good fight. And I do want to cover other stuff, so we're going to cover UFC fights as well, especially on Saturdays and stuff whenever there is no football. If there is football, I can be covering the football on the weekends and streaming during the football. Even if there's a Bronco game on while there's a big UFC fight, the Bronco game will be on my big screen, and then the UFC fight will just be on the smaller screen. That way I can still talk the whole thing about the Bronco game while still at least glancing at the UFC fight, so if both crowds are hanging out, then I can still mention both. Because the whole point is, if I can multi-stream sports and watch multiple sports at the same time, why can't I talk about them at the same time? And those are my my strong suits, I would say, is the Broncos and then UFC. I do love the NBA, I love the Nuggets, but they're not my strong suit. And so I'm just trying my best to grow with my Nuggets knowledge and coverage, as well as with hockey too, because we had a hell of a game today. The Knights pulled it out, but this is going to be a back and forth series probably. Whoever's going to win this series is probably going to win the championship, but also whoever wins this series, it's going to be a tough series, and these two are going to try to cannibalize each other before you two stop fighting. both the cats are just chasing each other, going crazy. You know, they say cats are nocturnal. Well, it's true because they run around at 2, 3, 4 in the morning being crazy. Then even if you're sleeping, they'll run right over you. And something cool I'm going to be doing at the end of the month on the 31st. Tom Grossi, he's going to be doing his 30 for 30 with all the stadium tours, and he is going to be here in Vegas. So I am going to try to go meet Tom Grossi. It'd be super amazing to meet Tom. Just give him some of my channel's stickers. I only have Gen 1 stickers. Gen 1 stickers are free. For anyone who wants Gen 1 stickers, you just gotta ask. You send me an email, DM me on one of these personal sites, or you know, we just gotta figure out how we can talk. So at least that way we can securely get your information, so I can send you some stickers and a card, because all the Gen 1 logos are free. You know, I'm working on getting rid of those Gen 1 stickers because I rushed into getting the stickers, but part of it is because I just needed something to see physically when I was first creating this. I wanted something that I could put on my water bottle, something I could hold, and that really just felt like my vision is physical and real now. So all Gen 1 stickers have always been free. We've given plenty out, and I still have plenty to give. So anyone who wants a Generation 1 sticker pack, you just let me know. They come with reflective, they come with satin, and then they just come with, they come with holographic vinyl, and then they come with a QR code sticker as well, so that loads up the YouTube page. So, you know, you're more than welcome to ask. Just reach out on any of these platforms and I'll send you a free sticker pack. Sticker packs are handled by my family. My mother, she handles those. She's going to be handling those when it comes to shipping stuff in the future. She's going to be doing that on the side, and besides me as well, we're going to do it. But Still Up is a family thing, so because it's a family, it's rooted in family. It goes back 4 generations with family, being Bronco fans. So because of that, you know, I have family involved in helping. So we do have these sticker packs, you know, Gen 1 sticker packs, all free. You just ask. As long as you're in the United States, I can send it to you for free. If you're outside the United States, it's just going to probably be, like, I might need $1 to help towards shipping. This channel's still up and coming, so you know, these finances are not that great. That's why we're trying to get monetized, so we can offer some very cheap memberships, as well as try to start getting super chats and start making money off of some of these platforms and stuff like this. Just because then it'll help me with being able to go more full-time into all this, because I work part-time, and the money covers my bills and stuff, nothing like that, but any money I get would go into trying to make this channel grow better. Having a cleaner, crisper camera at one point, trying to get a desk would be nice. In the future, we're going to be able to do so many angles with these cameras, and in the future I definitely want to be able to, like, the couch is something that's coming, and that's something I'm still self-funding, but all this comes out of my pocket, and I actually just moved to part-time just so I can make sure I can have, like, Saturday, Sunday, Mondays off to stream during sports. So that was a sacrifice for the channel, just so I can have those days off. And but by doing that, you know, I'm already losing a day of pay by doing that every week. And down the line, as long as I can compensate at one point for what I'm making, it would help. But I've talked about it on the first stream, and in the future, like those long streams, like the 24-hour streams, like the 12-hour stream, you know, I'm not monetizing, I'm not making money off of anything really. So this is all just so I can try to build my subs up, get some attention, but also prove that I am still up. You know, I can do, you know, 12 hours easy. If I can do 3 hours easy like this, and I'm already creeping on 2.5 hours, which is the length we did last time, so we're already going to exceed our first stream probably by 30 minutes. All dependent on how I feel, unless I want to go for another hour when we hit the 3 o'clock o'clock. I'm in 4 o'clock hour here in Vegas right now. It's the 3 o'clock hour. So it's 4 o'clock hour in Denver right now, Mountain Time. Grateful for anyone who's here. Grateful for anyone who's popped by. You know, I know it's not easy for some people to stay up late or wake up early. Sometimes you're forced to stay up late and be up early, but here you are. You know, we're talking sports. Background noise. Try to deal with all this sound, all these extra sound in the background. Whether it's cats, whether it's dogs barking, whether it's other noises. Try to isolate the sound better. But yeah, so we're gonna jump back to our overlay. Oh, back to our overlay. But yeah, so part of why I want to like normalize the late night hours and try to own these hours is one, because I can go forever, but if I had like a script and straight topics to go to, it'd be even easier for me to keep going. In this case, I'm just rambling for a second stream. We're just trying to get practice talking on screen and everything. But one thing that Zach Stevens told me is not to overanalyze everything, and that's what I did with this. Is I'm not overanalyzing nothing. We're just trying to grow and get better with each stream. Whether it's something small on the producing thing every day, or whether it's something small on, let's say, the editing, or writing my scripts or my monologues, all that stuff. This stream's really gonna be even better once we can have guests, because this the whole format is. It's a late night show, which means I need interviews. I'm here to interview people. We want to interview all kinds of people: Bronco fans, sports fans, friends, family, players, media, former players that used to play but are retired now. So many options. And with what we can do on late night, we can offer so many people a free chance to promote and talk about what they got going on. It's definitely worth it to check in and lock in on what we're trying to create with StillUpSports. We're just trying to push this late night stuff. We're trying to push and normalize late night talk. And at first it's just going to be random rambling, but eventually when we have guests and I can start interviewing people, or I have more content filmed that I can air on the show, it's going to feel more and more like a proper late night show. We're just growing every day. Again, I'm not going to be wearing a suit, especially after working or watching sports for hours and hours. I'm not wearing a suit, but I will gladly have a monologue, have an intro, and do interviews, and try to get this as close to a late night kind of vibe as I want. The vision's there, and it's getting closer and closer every day, and I'm pretty proud of where we've gotten so far. Even if it's just me talking at 3 in the morning here in Las Vegas, 4 in the morning in Denver or in Mountain Time. So either way, it's been a fun growing process. Last time we didn't have the overlay. Now we do have the overlay, and I'm pretty proud of it. We did take an intermission during the stream. It was like about 5, 6, almost 10 minutes. That's just so I was able to take a quick little break. Cat's being bad. He's just tearing stuff up, scratching stuff up. crazy. So guys, I appreciate that anyone is going to rewatch this in the future. You know, this is all still very rough. It's going to be rough in the beginning, especially with these first few streams where it just seems like we're off topic and just going about random stuff. But that's what we're doing in this first three streams, just so I can get these practice up. That's why on the weekend we're going to go for 12 hours, just so we can see how long we can go and really test ourselves. But we also want to set a record, because if I can go for 3 hours, which we're going to go for at least 3 hours, but we're going to maybe go for 4. But if I can go for 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, nothing's stopping me from going for 12 or 24 on my days off. And I'm going to set the record. That's a good way to come onto the scene, is if no one else has gone for 24 hours, that I can be the one to go for 24 hours. And it'll get even better once I'm better at my producing. When I'm better at the producing, I'll be able to control a lot more things, and I'll be able to really show you guys a lot more, keep the screen moving and changing a lot more. Keep it more appealing than just me chilling here, sitting here. But it's always a good vibe. And we're gonna have a good vibe here, and it's all a learning lesson, you know. I do love my animations. We just changed the animations and the intro and outro videos, so all the animations now show a like, subscribe, and notification button, you know, animation. So like if I click the be right back one, so as I click be right back, you can see it pops up now, where it shows you know, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, you know, hit the plus, the notification. So it's a fun little animation, but we've changed the animations already to where it includes that little feature. These first few streams are really rough, but they're really fun, especially because I learn at least 1 or 2 things every night. There's something I'm learning every night that's really fun, whether it's how to set this up or add this thing here or do that. So it's getting fun, and I'm learning a lot every day. So we coming. Yeah, we coming, guys. We do have 25 minutes until we've been going for 3 hours, but I would really like to just see if anyone else pops in before the end of the stream, because we are getting closer towards maybe when the really like early birds are starting to wake up, and that would be the boys. Try and catch some of these early birds as they're waking up. I'm just sitting here with my energy drink, messing with these screens, but we're gonna jump back to the camera. There we are. But yeah, we're just messing around and learning. Right now, this is how it sounds in here. Straight crickets. This is how dead the chat is. Chat hasn't moved in minutes, not minutes, almost like 20, 30 minutes. So that's how we know it's dead. 1 more cricket, it's just for the dead chat. Yep. One thing I can't wait to do is to isn't much going on. One of them is in Atlanta. The other two are going to be in Denver. Doesn't say who will have like a joint practice with. I would love it to be against Green Bay though, or Minnesota, and just for like the chance to go against either Jordan Love or like Justin Jefferson in practice. I did talk about Cage Casey and Jonah Coleman signing their deals. What else? What else? I mean, Von Miller's been real cryptic, but I think Von wants to come back. We all know Von wants to come back. I want Von to come back. You want Von to come back. Whether Von comes back, though, that's the real question. Whether they sign him is also the question. I would love to see him come back, but who knows? And I would love to see that. Maybe I'm getting a little tired, but I'm just coming from a caffeine crash, guys. It's supposed to be keeping me up, but it's not working tonight. Now, I do apologize for the rambling or if I feel like I'm going in circles or stuff, guys. We're just messing around. I don't have no organization to this right now. If you came here for organization, you're at the wrong show. Because there's no organization to this right now. This is still organized. We'll call this organized chaos, but it's straight chaos. I'm getting better with it though, so just bear with me with every show. Especially until I can get like some co-hosts or like down the line, if I could get like a good editor or producer, someone that knows what they're doing, who really is like die hard about this and believes in late night sports talk and believes in like the Broncos. You gotta be a big Bronco fan, but you gotta be open to all sports. But if I could find myself a really good producer, then I just know that would help the show go so far. Because then there would be back and forth discussion already, just because of having a producer, as well as the fact that having a producer makes everything so much easier. I don't have to control any of this stuff that would be sitting right here. And I do want to be able to have a producer. I do want to have an editor / co-host who can really help me with stuff. And that's something that I'm open for down the line. I really could use. This whole thing's been new for me, and I'm sure if it's something they haven't done, it would be new for them too. You know, talking on camera isn't easy, and let alone trying to stay on topic when you don't have anything scripted out and planned. Sucks too, but that's another reason why having a producer or editor would help, just because you can go back and forth, or really stay on track, or have things planned. I'm not a graphics guy, editor guy. I'm not a thumbnail guy, so I don't know how to do some of these things. I'm working on it. You can do a lot of that with that AI, but I don't know how I feel with AI. I'm not a big fan of AI. My original logo was AI, but because I'd rather not. I kind of just think that it would be easier to just slowly learn how to do this stuff myself, or just eventually get a legit editor, producer, and stuff. 1 second. Alright guys, the cat was always finding something to do, something he can get into, something he can mess up or mess with. He can't help himself. While I talk about that Avs Knights game, man, it's gonna be a tough series again. Like I said earlier, it's just competitive. It's gonna be crazy though. I truly think that it's a 7-game kind of series, and I got a lot of love for the Avs in Colorado sports because I'm a Bronco fan. I am a Nuggets fan. They can bring an original team to Vegas, and I'm going to still stick with the Nugs. I'm just going to respect an original Vegas team. I'm not a huge fan of like the Raiders, of course, or the Athletics, just because they're jumping from a different city and they're coming here. Whereas like a homegrown original team, it's very easy to support. So with the series, I've been so torn and mixed, and I'm not rooting for anyone in particular. What I am rooting for, though, is for whoever wins this series and the Western Conference to win the whole thing. It's a great series. I love seeing how competitive they've been going at each other just in this first game. So just imagine how it's going to be by game 4, 5, 6. You know, it's really going to heat up. I'm enjoying it. So yeah. See if there's something else I can get going on about guys. Let's see. I'm just trying to pull up some articles and stuff, something I can look at, maybe discuss. Oh yeah, I was talking about it earlier, but I did say I got 4 games that we're losing. We're going to lose, in my opinion, those 2 back-to-back California games, you know, the 49ers and the Chargers. I do think we lose those, and then that third game we can lose. It's either going to be Carolina or Pittsburgh. You switch them out however you want, interchangeable to me. I got Pittsburgh, but then the final game we're going to lose is going to either be Bills or Patriots. So one of those games is interchangeable too. I got losing to the Patriots, winning against the Bills, but it could be either way. That's how I came to 13-4. I do think 13-4 is reasonable. I don't know if the drop off is going to be as bad as some people think. I think the drop off isn't that bad. Thank you, Hortensia. Great to see you. How you doing? Hope you're having a great morning. Hola, ¿cómo estás? I do think that 13-4 is pretty fair. It's very capable, very doable. And the reason why I said that San Francisco is a loss is because I just got this vibe with Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers, and I do think that they can do it, especially just because it's in September. It's a September thing, and just like with the Chargers, we're gonna win the Charger game. We're gonna split with the Chargers, but I think we win the game in Denver. I think we lose the game in LA. So that's why I think we split with the Chargers and 49ers. And I think that it makes sense that we would, win and then lose one of those 2, East Coast games, whether it's Carolina or Pittsburgh. So in my case, I got Pittsburgh, but it could be Carolina, and they will beat Pittsburgh if they want. So I think Carolina and Pittsburgh game is interchangeable, and then I definitely think that the Bills and Patriots is also interchangeable as well. That's how you get to 4 games. Is 49ers, Chargers, and then however you want to pick those final 2. That's just my opinion. I love that some people are saying that we're gonna just drop off, and some people are saying that we're gonna barely make the playoffs. We're gonna be a wild card team. I think we're competing for this division. I do think we're competing for this division. I do think we're winning this division too. I'm looking at this roster right now. Yeah, I'm excited for these camp battles. I'm a big camp battle guy, and the camp battles are going to be really exciting, especially like I was talking earlier about, because everyone wants to talk running back and Jonah Coleman, just because Jonah Coleman's the guy. You know, I mean, and for a fourth round pick, you're pretty excited. Uh, but Jonah Coleman's awesome. But I think that there's not as much of a discussion at running back as there is at fullback and tight end, and tight end dictates that fullback conversation, I think. But with these camp battles, man, tight end, D line, interior D line. I mean, especially for that GFM spot. You know, there's so many young, high motor guys down there. You know, everyone forgets about Henningsen. I think we got Jordan Jackson back. I think we still have Uruzuwike. You know, we got so much competition in that room. I'm excited to see how that goes. But yeah, literally just tight end, D line, and then especially safeties behind Brandon Jones. You know, I think Brandon Jones is going to come back and have like an all-pro kind of bounce back year. I think he's going to really make a statement, because there's all these talk about like we need to trade him, we need to move on from him. And I said it earlier, we don't need to be trading guys, we don't need to be getting rid of guys right now. This is the year where you're trying just to load up and lock and load. If it doesn't work out this year, then maybe next year you make a trade or two, or you know, you let a few guys walk and then you sign some other guys. But this is the year you lock and load. Same thing with Ben Powers. You don't move on from Ben Powers this year during the year. You just sit on Cage Casey, and you sit on Paucho, and you just roll the dice. Yeah, thank you, Hortensia, for popping in. I appreciate having you pop in. Feel free to like and share or like. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, go ahead. Any question? Let's see, guys. I think that with these camp battles, specifically, like I said, tight end's great because it's stacked. You signed mostly everyone back. All the guys you had last year, they're mostly back. And with all this Caleb Lana talk, man, it just makes you think like who's going to be the guy that gets cut? What's happening with Atkins and Kroll? Can't deny that probably one of them is going. How many of these guys from these position battles that you love, that you don't think you can make on the 53? How many of them can you actually realistically get on the practice squad? That's a great question. There's a lot of good guys there. I love the depth. I love the backups that we got. I love how deep this team is. And there's going to be some tough cuts. Let's see. We got this roster pulled up now. Oh, an inside linebacker, too. That's going to be fun, too. The inside linebacker feels like an obvious one, even though I don't think people are going to talk as much about it. And I understand the hate that people had when they found out that Alex Singleton was coming back. I was not as worried. They're not trying to make him, go out there and, play like DB. They're not trying to put him in these matchups. When the matchups happen, that just means that the other team may have found it or took advantage of it or created that matchup. And when it happens, it sucks. When, let's say, the running back or tight end is just getting away from Alex. It sucks when that happens. But we've seen what Alex is actually there for. We've seen it on the hit on Cam Scatterwood, where he basically shut that whole, momentum thing down. At least in that game, he really showed him that this is what he's here for. He's here to stop the run. He's going to set the tone on defense. He's going to be that green helmet. It's not likable for a lot of people. It's not optimal. But you see what we've done at this room. You see that kind of deal that he got is just the next. Who knows how long this is going, but it's not as long. It's not going to last as long as people think. The Alex Singleton experiment. These years go by fast. So whatever happens, happens. But they got a lot of great depth guys, and but I am excited to see Jonah Ellis. I'm excited to see Jonah Ellis get these snaps at inside linebacker as well. Jonah Ellis getting snaps at inside linebacker is pretty cool. Just because he's pretty athletic. He's an athletic freak. He just you don't want him to be right out there week 1, week 2. That's why you're doing this and you're trying this experiment now. And we're just seeing what can happen. There's probably packages where you can send him out there in the inside end, and you could probably still blitz him still. And I would love that. Just another way to fit guys out there. And it's like with R.J. Harvey. I mean, just because Jonah Coleman's coming in and you have J.K. Dobbins, just because J.K.'s your pound it down the middle. He is your number 1 back. And then, Jonah is what a lot of people see as like the back of the future. That doesn't mean that RJ's role is going to step down. It means you can just use him a little more cleverly. He had so many receiving touchdowns, and last year, why not just double down on some of his receiving capabilities? He's really growing into like Darren Sproles receiving type back. It doesn't mean you stop running him, but you have both of them healthy, and you have other stuff or some cool packages or something lined up. Why not just use them in the slot or use them as an extra wide receiver? But yeah, same thing with these linebackers. Everyone has a role. Everyone has a role, and I think that's the same discussion with like Jide Barrett. You want him to grow into what he's expected to be and live up to the draft status, but at the same time, he's very flexible what he can do. Who knows what the hole is going to be and when it will happen, but he's gotten some meaningful snaps across the defense, and I love seeing him on the tight ends personally. I think that he could be a great fit on a lot of these tight end matchups that come up this year. And I'm gonna look at this schedule again just because I want to see the tight end matchups that we may get or may face this year. Because I am trying to pull up the schedule for the Broncos just so I can see who these tight end matchups are, or if there's some interesting matchups in general that might give our defense a headache. But I think Jide can really be the piece, whether it's a running back or a tight end. He can maybe be that piece until you have your issue, whether it's Jaquan or it's Riley leaving. One of those two is probably gone. It depends on who you want. Me personally, I'm on the train of re-signing J-Mac. I think J-Mac's the best slot corner in the league, and I think this year, while you have Riley, you just play Moss a little more when you can, and then not Moss a little more. You play Barron a little more when you can, and then besides that, keep matching Barron up on the tight ends. I love Barron as the tight end, neutralizer. He's solid. He played all across the board in Texas. Why can't he keep it up? He did okay last year. I'd like to see him keep lining up against tight ends until there is an opening. If there is an opening, then of course you want him to take it, whatever it is, whether it's in the slot if they re-sign Riley and let J-Mac leave, or whether they re-sign J-Mac and make Riley leave. You want Barron to take that spot. But until then, use him as your matchup piece on defense. You know, when you want to match up against some of these tight ends or some of these maybe random gadget players. I think he's just going to keep growing and getting better with this team. He's very comfortable in zone. He's going to grow in man. See, guys, we're almost at 3 hours live. Let's see. It's already 3:31 in Vegas, so it's 4:31 in Mountain Time. We are just chugging along, guys. So I got the schedule pulled up, and while we're talking there, we're really looking at these tight end matchups. Let's see, week 1, Kansas City, and against Travis Kelce. Again, I felt like that we saw him on some tight ends last year. I would love to see that matchup. You want to really take some weight off of whoever the linebacker is out there at that time, whether it's Singleton or Stranad. On packages you want to go 3 middle linebackers. Why not let Barron get the 3rd one? Or if you only have one linebacker out there and it's Singleton, leave Barron out there so Barron can be the guy to be your coverage guy in that moment. Barron is very versatile on that level. I really think that people were mad at his lack of impact. But I think that lack of impact was actually pretty good for his growth. I think we're going to see more from him this year. Jacksonville, I don't know who their tight end is. Let's see. We're going to load up the Jacksonville roster real quick and just check out the tight ends. But my point is with these tight end matchups is I really think that Barron can be that guy, and I think he matches up with most tight ends pretty well. And he's a corner at heart, so everyone forgets that he was right there, in the same draft as Travis Hunter, and he's easy to underlook because of Travis Hunter's presence. Not to be disrespectful to these guys, maybe I don't know about Patrick Herbert. Maybe I just don't know much about the tight ends for the Jags. Tana Kazoli, pretty big guy. I just don't know much about these guys. Hunter Long. So maybe Jags have some good tight ends, maybe they don't. I'm not sure. I admit that where I will, but I don't know if they can handle, if these tight ends can handle a solid matchup with a DB like Barron. I think Barron has truly grown in this scheme, and after a second year in it, one can imagine he's more comfortable. I feel like he's going to play a little more aggressive this year. But I really like the matchup against the Chiefs and the Jags. By the way, for him, all these tight end matchups, Kittle, that's going to be a tough one for him, and San Fran. Um, there's some tough matchups here at tight end. The Cardinals, I mean, Trey McBride, but I just, there's been times they've used Pat on some of these tight ends before. And I don't know if you need to use Pat like that anymore on these tight ends when you have a guy like Barron. Especially if Barron isn't already, like if Barron isn't your number one starter at the slot corner, or if he's not your number one starter opposite of Pat, why not be getting him the reps against some of the best tight ends in the league? Can only probably help him. Like I love the matchups against Brock Bowers. That's a good one. Um, Buffalo with Dawson Knox. That's a good matchup. There's some good matchups on this season. Is my point. I'm not going to go week by week and be like, this is the tight end matchup, but for Barron. But I just am a big believer that Barron can be your piece to really help with these crazy tight ends. And anything can happen, but I really do believe that the hate for Barron is not wanted or warranted. It's not deserved. Barron is, he came in a position where people were just mad about him even becoming a Bronco just because of the pick. They wanted so much more with that pick and ended up with another DB. So there was Bronco fans that were already salty about that, and I think that lingers to this day. But I think he put on some solid tape and he grew more and more. And I just can't deny the fact that when you're in that room with PS2 and Jaquan and Riley, like there ain't no way you're not getting better. You're growing for sure. And I'm just confident that Barron's going to make that leap and transition. But I'm also confident that we don't have to rush it when you have guys like Jaquan and Riley on contract, at least for this season. This season is not the season to get weaker at positions. This season is the season to stay healthy at where you're at, or stay competitive at where you're at, and go and try to run it back. Get that one game away from the Super Bowl that you were. We were one game away. Get there, because once you get back there, all it takes is a matter of a few plays, and now you're there in the Super Bowl. So it all just takes time and effort. I think it's doable though. Let's see, guys. Let's see, 3:38 Las Vegas time, 4:38 Mountain time. Hope everyone's having a great day. If you are waking up or if you're heading to work, just drive safe. Watch the road. You have people to get home to. You got people that love you. I can't wait to do some live streams with some of these games on or some of these sports on. That's going to be fun. Just like live streaming with some other creators, that's going to be fun too. Q&A stream, but we did not get a single question for the most part, so not many questions for a Q&A stream, but for the most part you guys got to watch me ramble for a whole almost 3-4 hours. I'm 3 hours and 7 minutes in. Part of me wonders if I want to go the full 4 hours and just say, hey, we did 4 hours. That would be pretty fun, pretty cool. Like I said, this weekend coming up, I'm going to do a 12-hour stream, especially during whatever sports are on, so that way I can watch stuff while it's happening too. would show off the DT jersey, the baseball jersey. It's awesome. My uncle helped with that. If anyone's in, feel free to comment, feel free to chat, whatever you got going on, whatever you want to say, drop it in, let it be known. I'm grateful for all the family and friends that really were some of my first subscribers. Literally my first 3 subscribers were myself, my mother, and Zach Stevens. And I think subscriber 4 may have been Jose. And I like to say subscriber 5 or 6 was Goonsville. So that shows you how early we are in the process. You know, I wanted to start streaming a little later in and announcing this a little later in, but this whole off season is definitely my my growing point. We have been flying solo on here since about 3, so we're still solo out here, and it's okay. I'm checking the viewership. We had a lot of drop off right around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning my time, but that's okay. Let's see, guys. Let's mess with some of these audios while we're bored. Robot. Welcome to this StillUp Robot live stream. Robot live stream. Robot live stream. Sorry, I got bored messing around with some of these audio while we can, since there's no one on here. Let's see. Wow, we have chimes. Nice. Nice. Hello. Hello. And I just want to say, the Chiefs win. I really hate the Chiefs. The Chiefs are so horrible, you know, they're just a whole bunch of, and I just really am tired of that stupid white and red uniforms, because they're just a whole bunch of, the Chiefs are so fucking annoying. Oh, one beep and one got out. Whoopsie daisy. I guess I failed right there on that one, guys. Yeah. I tried to cover up my swear, and sure enough, it bit me in the butt because I missed it. Well, that was a fun one to play with. This is just for practice, so anyone that showed up during these 3 hours, I'm just grateful for you to pop in and hear me ramble. I doubt very few people are going to watch all of these streams all the way through, and that's fine. But I'm thinking that, let's see, it's 4:45 in Denver right now. We'll finish out for another 30 minutes or so. I mean, 15, 30 minutes. I like to be here when a few people wake up, at least see if some people wake up and pop in the chat. So we're just kind of waiting to see if people wake up. So I'm gonna make a post, see if anyone on X sees it right now, and if anyone does, they can pop in the chat real quick and say what's up. we'll see if someone shows up in the next like 30 minutes. If not, we're gonna log off. This is good progress, good practice for me. You know, until I can go live with some other shows or get a co-host or something. You know, this is a good bit of practice for me just to learn when I'm doing this with all this stuff. I'm grateful to see you guys and be here with you guys. You know, we're just growing every day. Yeah, we're gonna get some collab videos coming out with Goonsville, as well as we got some awesome merch plans coming up with Goonsville. I did mention it earlier that sticker packs are free. You know, all Gen 1 sticker packs, those are all for free. If anyone wants some, they can have some. You just reach out or just find a way to comment or let me know so I can try to reach out to you somehow. And those are free on me. Besides that, we are working on getting new stickers down the line. We're going to sell, you know, when we get the new logo sticker packs in, we are going to sell those about maybe $10 a pack, but those are going to be loaded up. They're going to be with glow in the dark. They're going to be with holographic QR code stickers. There's going to be a bumper sticker in there. There's going to be, for $10, there's going to be a solid amount of stickers in there still, but it's also still going to be done in a manner where I can make a few bucks and try to put it towards a new camera, because I would like to get a new camera. That'd be my goal, is a really clean, crisp camera, as well as getting myself another mic and try to get myself a desk. I'm working on the couch part right now. We're trying to really grow and make the set better, so in the future we will be selling sticker packs. That's something that's cool. I know that in the future I do have plans with Goonsville. We're going to work on this merch. We're going to make some merch happen. Till then, we're definitely going to proudly rep our Goonsville Perseverance line. Go check it out on Goonsville.com. You know, they got all these cool designs, man. From the hats to the beanies, to the hoodies, to the shirts. Man, there's so much great Goonsville out there. Go check it out. Also, you know, they have the Greek line out right now. The Greek line's very big. They got the Greek Festival coming up. Goonsville Greek is so awesome. Love seeing Pedro's support and promote his heritage, and I just love to support his heritage as well. So Greek Goonsville is awesome. Love having it on the show. That's probably going to be the hoodie I wear for my next show. I've worn 2 Goonsville for 2 shows, and we're going to wear another one for the next show. I know that not many people are awake. That's the point, though. Still no one awake, but that's okay. This has been a fun stream still. No technical difficulties for the most part. I mean, pre-stream, there was a little bit of, you know, as the waiting screen was up, I was still, the waiting screen was up and there was supposed to be no audio, but you could hear me in the background. I'm dealing with some allergies right now, so please forgive me for the coughing and, you know, all that. I got a really dry throat, really stuffy nose. These allergies, so much dust in the air right now. That's the downside to living here in the desert. But yeah, so I am gonna be at 2 Bronco games this year. I'm aiming for the Bronco game November 1st, Kansas City, in Denver. That's going to be a fun game. I'm excited to try to get out there for that one. And then the Bronco game in Vegas, I'm going to be there for that as well. So if anyone is at either of those two games, I would love to meet you. Whether you're at the Bronco game here or the Chief game in Denver, we'll try to make it happen. We'll do whatever. I'm just grateful to be able to start going to more games. Last year was my first game ever, and it took until I was 28 years old. Some people don't get to go to a game ever in their life, so I'm just grateful to have gone to two already after stacking two games last season and then trying to just stack another two games this season. I'm grateful for the opportunity to go to games. It was never something that I thought I would be able to get to do growing up because of my background and how bad money was growing up, and now I'm just pretty proud to be where I am and have gotten to go to sporting events more and more each week, whether it's something small like baseball or football, basketball, hockey, arena football, whatever. But I do hope everyone likes that overlay. The overlay is pretty nice. I'm pretty proud of it. I'm loving the overlay. It was a really tough game for the Avs. I feel bad for Avs fans. It's a tough, brutal series going on. Who do I have winning though? I do have the Avs winning in a 7-game series. So I'm sorry, everyone. It is going to be a 7-game series, but I do have the Avs winning. I got a lot of love for the Knights, but I do think the Avs will pull it out. It's just going to be one of those series. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be brutal, and these two teams are going to cannibalize each other and really bang each other up before whatever happens, whoever wins. So it's going to be a fun thing to just keep an eye out for. But I got Avs in 7, and that's not the answer people wanted, but that's what I got for you. Avs in 7. Anyone see Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano? And some people were saying that it was rigged. I don't know. I think we've all seen Ronda Rousey, and we should have saw that coming, honestly. Because Ronda's, even though she's been out of the game for a minute, she's been closer to the game than Gina has in a long time. So for Ronda to finish Gina in the first round with an armbar, I mean, that's kind of, some people say script, but to me that feels like feeding a duck to a wolf. And Ronda was the wolf. She did her thing. Anyone who's seen Ronda fight before, they know that's just her thing. She can sub you out, especially with that armbar, pretty quick if you don't know what you're doing. If you're not competent on the ground, Ronda's gonna, or if you're not competent in your takedown defense, and Ronda's just gonna take you down. She's gonna put you in that armbar, and she's gonna pop it out. Especially if you don't tap. So, I mean, I had no problem, and I saw that happen. And then in terms of like Mike Perry, Nate Diaz, that was a great fight. But just from the fan part, just to see Nate out there was cool. But man, what are we doing with Nate, man? Nate needs to stop talking about wanting to fight for a championship. He's not in the position to be fighting for a championship anymore. He bleeds damn near every fucking blow now, man. You can bust him open so easy, and he just bleeds all over the place. And makes you wonder, like, are they gonna create a special rule for Nate that If he bleeds all over the place, there's no stoppage just because of bleeding, because he's a special case. Because that guy just breaks open and bleeds all over the place now, no matter what. I don't know if there's anything you can do medically, surgically, or plastic surgery wise to stop, uh, him from bleeding like that. He just bleeds profusely so easy, and but for the record, give credit where Mike Perry deserves it. Mike Perry TKO'd him, put him out. He did his thing still. It wasn't like a crazy TKO, but I mean, he beat and bloodied him. Nate wasn't in his class, so that was fun. Alright, guys. I think I'm probably gonna cut it close soon. We're gonna end it soon. I was hoping that we'd get some trickle in from people waking up really early, but none of that. And that's okay. This was just almost 3 hours of, well, 3.5 hours of me just talking, so I appreciate anyone that showed up. The motivation and the energy will come a lot better, and these shows will be a lot better with more scripts and time. But I really hope to start streaming, find someone that wants to stream with me. It would be great if I can stream with someone else at the same time. That's the goal, is stream with other people. If I'm streaming by myself, I'm not that entertaining. But to stream with other people and do some collabs and stuff, that's the goal. Okay, you guys, we're gonna probably cut it over in like 4 minutes. We're gonna cut out 4 minutes unless anyone shows up. Unless anyone else shows up in this time. Something about the Broncos is that they have the most games this year. They're tied with the Seahawks for most games against 2025 playoff teams. We are going to be facing 10 of the 2025 playoff teams, tied with Seattle. So that's interesting. They're really, testing us and seeing how we handle ourselves with these tougher teams. But I think the Broncos are up for the task. As I said earlier, if you're him, you should be able to do him-like activities. And him-like activities is shutting down these teams that you should beat if you're that good. You need to start proving you're better than these teams. And you only do that by doing it multiple times. So, like I said, we could win a bowl and we can bring home the Lombardi, and no one's going to respect us till we do it a second time. But that's why it's just consistency. We just gotta become the dynasty that the Broncos need to be to shut up the league. Because everyone's gonna be saying ifs and buts or hypotheticals or asterisks or whatever until we're doing it over and over again. But I don't care how tough this schedule is, honestly. Again, I only got 4 losses. And I think that they're reasonable takes. That the first 2 would happen in September, when I don't think there's going to be that fast start. I think I would love a fast start. I don't think there's going to be a fast start, though. But in those first few games, I mean, I just can't help but think that in September, 2 road games, 1 in San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan's got some bite to him. He's tricky, man. I think that I think the 49ers get us over the Rams. I'm not too bothered by the Rams. I think the matchup is going to be fun, and I think they're great. It's going to be one of our better, tougher matchups of the whole year. But I do think that it's a good matchup for us, and that I'm just excited for it. That being said, that the Chargers loss, that's reasonable too, because it's splitting with the Chargers. I don't think we sweep the Chargers. I sweep we sweep the Chiefs and we sweep the Raiders this year, in my opinion. But we're splitting with the Chargers, so that loss to the Chargers feels reasonable if it's in LA, not in Denver. So those two, I just think, are pretty fair arguments that you could say that a loss in San Fran and a loss in LA is reasonable against the Chargers. And then again, one of those East Coast games feels reasonable as well, whether it's Pittsburgh or Carolina. One of those feels reasonable. I chose Pittsburgh, but it could be either. And then towards the end, in that final tough stretch, it makes sense that I think you lose one of those three games. And I did say we win the Bronco game in Denver against the Chargers, so that's a win right there. So then you're splitting with the Bills and the Patriots probably. However you do that, that's up to you and however it happens. But I got the loss happening against the Patriots, sadly, and the win against the Bills. But it could very much be a win against the Patriots and a loss against the Bills. So it all depends on how it plays out. But I truly think that 13-4 is a fair guess. Yeah, guys, it's been 3.5 hours. I think we're gonna cut it. We're gonna go offline now. It's been a fun few hours. It's 5 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time. 4 o'clock in the morning. Here in Vegas. I think that feels pretty reasonable. I was hoping to have some more people pop in the chat, but you get what you get. So I'm not going to be too cranky about that. I'm just grateful that I had people in my chat again. It's been fun though, I can ramble for hours and hours about sports. This is part of why I did this. When I used to get off work, I used to just go outside and hang out with my neighbor who would be out there for 3 or 4 hours talking, NFL, UFC, NBA, whatever with me. So me and him would always be out there. My neighbor Jake. So Jake, if you're ever watching, feel free to drop in the chat. I give you your shout outs where it's due. But yeah, my friend Jake, he's a Packer fan. But he was my old neighbor. He moved across town, but to a better neighborhood. But Jake was, awesome. I would always come home from work and just talk and talk and talk for hours. And that's kind of part of where some of this idea came from. Just because of the fact that I would get off work and I would come talk with Jake about sports for as whatever and how long as possible. And then once I was done talking sports with him or whatever, it would be 5, 6 in the morning. And we just have passed 3, 4, 5 hours. So, to Jake, I hope that I can get him on stream. He is a new dad. His son's about over a year old, but that's still an important age and a busy age. Keeps him busy when he's not working. But I do hope to have Jake online at one point. Jake's a cool Packer fan. I love everything that he does and all that he stands for, and I'd love to talk sports with him live on air or during the season when we do our watch-alongs. Have him on here with us. If he's got nothing going on against the Broncos-Packers preseason, that would be a fun game to get him here. But it all depends on what his schedule with work and everything is, so, and his family. But I would love to get. There's going to be physical guests in here at one point, and then besides that, we're definitely going to do. In the future, we're going to do a little call in line where you can leave a voicemail. That's the best bet, because at least that way I can censor or control them all. Just because I don't trust anyone on screen live, because you never know what someone will say, and we're not falling for any of that. But yeah, I think a call in line would be fun. Something like I said earlier, one last time, a 24-hour stream with all the creators, Bronco creators would be amazing. We all take shifts, a few creators on at the same time, and we all just take shifts and rotate. That'd be a fun time. cat's here again. Apollo came back on screen. He's right next to the mic. You could probably hear him purring. Uh-oh. He's rubbing against the mic. It's probably like 5 minutes. We'll call it 5 minutes. Just so we can wrap up. Everything's a process. I'm pretty proud of where we're at in the process. Our next goal in the next week or so is to have someone that we're doing shows with. That's our next goal, and our big goal is someone that we can do some shows with and go live with. That would be awesome. But on the weekend, we're going to go for 12 hours. We'll go for 12 hours on the weekend, and when we do that, we will try to set ourselves a nice record for the longest Broncos sports talk show recorded and aired. Of course, it's going to be all live. That's why these intermissions, be right back animations are really good. It's because they really help with these long streams, because then I can pop out for 5 or 10 minutes, whether it's to go to the bathroom or have a drink or go eat something real quick. But I am going to work on a format, or at least a schedule, for how I want to do these late night streams, because it's obvious the days I want to do live streams on, like, the weekends, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but these late night streams, we're going to schedule, and we're going to figure out we're going to probably end the stream here. I think it's a good time. It's been a fun time. We'll get more practice. It's a little late. I'm getting a little tired. We're going to film some videos today or tomorrow, and we're going to make sure we figure this all out. But I hope everyone has a great day, and everyone has a great morning. Take care, everyone.